Sydney, what's your favorite movie podcast? And if you don't say Shamullahcast, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. Sorry, I left my magical voice changer on. Hello, welcome to Shamullahcast. My name is Fairburn. As usual, I'm joined by Josh and Frank. And today we've got two special guests. Boys, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hello, it's me, Matt.
And me, Jordan Rowe.
And today we're gonna do a big one. We're gonna cover the entirety of the Scream franchise, including Scream 6. We're going into spoiler territory, so be warned. Right, okay, so to kick things off, Matt, I'll go to you, because I know that you're raring to go.
Yes. So the first thing that I noticed when watching Scream 6 was the cold open. Obviously they have these cold opens in every movie where the killer kills someone and then it segues into the main movie. So the instant parallel I had was back to Scream 1, where they marketed the entire thing on Drew Barrymore only to just kill her off in the cold open. And I would say the same could be said for Samara Weaving in this one. Obviously, Josh, you said she was on the poster, whether it could be anyone marketing.
Yeah, basically.
But apart from that, I had no idea she was in the movie.
No, neither did I. I didn't know it was Samara Weaving until you said. I knew I recognised her face, but...
So I was thinking that is like their... Okay, this is their thing that they're doing again, where they've got the credible actress, and then they go, Ghostface, I could kill you. And then that's where it sort of pulled me in a bit more, is when Freaky Flash Thompson takes the mask off and goes, "It's me, hello." And I was like, okay, they're going to reveal the killer now. This is something different. We're going to go... Where do we go from here? Now we know who this Ghostface is, and obviously it's revealed there's a second one, and it's his mate, or his Chad, or I don't know, whatever his name was.
No, Chad.
Greg. So I was thinking we've got the two Ghostface killers. Their identity is known to us right at the start of the film. Where do we go from here? I think Josh, you had something.
Yeah, I just felt like, again, they said with the marketing, this one's different, this Ghostface is different, this movie's different. And it really wasn't. Like, again, as we all said earlier, like we were talking amongst ourselves, and we all agreed that if this movie was as good as the opening was, then yeah, it would have diverted our expectations, but it really didn't stick the landing there at all whatsoever.
No, I think that it's relying way too much on the first movie. Maybe on the second one as well, as we'll go into later with a couple of plot points. And I think it's trying so hard to just stay on a nostalgia train, just to feed you bits. Remember when this happened? And like, I think it needs to do its own thing. You're on your 6th installment at this point.
You remember Scream?
Yeah,
I
remember Berries. I remember Scream.
Remember Stab?
Yeah.
We don't remember Stab.
No, yeah. They do, but we don't, apparently.
But it's, obviously, it gets revealed to us then, doesn't it? That, these two aren't actually Ghostface. They are.
Well, they are Ghostface.
Yeah. But in terms of like this main villain, they're not Ghostface, and it goes back to, obviously you got Mickey in Scream 3, you got Charlie and his other fucking weirdo in Scream 4. You know, it's just the killer is a big movie buff, so like they're film students at this university.
Well, even from the first one. The movie buffs,
I was going to say, Randy was
but just like Billy said though, movies don't make you kill people, they just make you more creative.
Exactly.
I like that they've stuck with that though.
And that's been the motif I've seen with these killers, is they're not crazy because of the movie, they're crazy because they want people to appreciate the movie the way they do, and they're like, this franchise shouldn't be fucking squandered on you idiots, or hey.
They're crazy about the movie.
They're stand-ins for us, obviously.
We stand outside Disney headquarters and go, give us good TV, we kill you now.
Well, you know, that's why I had to kill Wes Craven.
Too soon, John.
Yeah. Only 8 years after the fact.
Yeah, but the point you did make though about how this is 11 months after Scream 5.
It's just a bit rushed, isn't it? Like again, it wasn't left to cook long enough. In the sense that, you know, like I said earlier, we were talking amongst ourselves, that Scream usually comments on something new in horror media, but it hasn't had enough time to comment on something new. So what did they say? Oh, this movie is commentary on a franchise. Well, it was already a fucking franchise.
Well, funny enough, this is the exact same thing that happened with Scream 2. And as I said, there's a lot of parallels with that.
Yeah,
it almost feels intentional.
Pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just like they do the whole... Scream 1 is the original, so it uses original movies like, original slashers like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, etc. as their, what's your favourite scary movie, and they talk about those. And then Scream 4, obviously you've had 10, 11 years, and this is the horror movies of the early noughties, and they mention things like Saw and all these other like torture porn movies. And there's a bit going on in Scream 5, we'll talk more about that later, but like Josh said, Scream 6 has had no time to comment on anything, and it's just kind of like, here you go, here's another movie, we like Scream, we know you like Scream because it's got Jenna Ortega in it and she's big now. So, alright, cool.
I bet they thought they had the jackpot when Wednesday blew up.
Yeah.
The radio silence were just there like, well, this is great news. Thank you very much, Netflix.
Rubbing their hands together.
You know, I love Scream, right? I'd go as far to say it's like one of my favourite franchises of all time, period. And I just feel like it was squandered now. I just feel like the enjoyment of Scream has just disappeared slowly over time. It's just fizzling out.
You know what? Personally, like with the opening and stuff, and like the first act, I'll say actually, I thought there was a really good atmosphere because as we'll get into later, I didn't enjoy Scream 5, and I felt that like it just kind of lost its feel. It didn't feel like a Scream film to me. And
So
go on.
Would you say then, since Wes Craven's passing, the franchise is surely missing him then, so to speak?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think as the films have come out, I think they've taken a step down in quality each time.
Yeah.
But I really like what they did with this. I really like the way it was shot. I really like the suspense. I think this is probably the scariest Scream.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 100%. I'd say Ghostface like hits mythical level now.
Yeah.
He's at the Jason level.
I like, well, you know, Manhattan.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're a little meta, remember, guys. This is so.
This should have been called Ghostface Takes Manhattan.
I would like that.
That would have been great.
One thing I do like though is, like you said, even though he's mythical, he's still just some bloke in a costume getting the ever-living piss beat out of him.
I like that though, because it shows how horrible people can be with anonymity.
Exactly.
And that does say a lot about
They talk about that in this one, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
About Sam, everyone's talking shit about her online.
Yeah, exactly.
How people who don't even like on this video, nasty people.
Yeah, and you know, we know where you are. You know,
I will find you.
Jordan Rowe is in your walls, by the way.
But I like that it plays on the anonymity of people and how ruthless people can be when you haven't got a face, and that really does say a lot more than about like this generation and films and stuff like that. Jordan.
I would say it's more, instead of going for like a commentary on like horror films, it's gone more towards like a social commentary, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just changed what Scream was.
Well, it's
and
like
it's changed it into a social commentary thing.
I think. Oh, sorry.
I suppose it's what the directors have experienced themselves after the fifth movie as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that's probably gone into this. Because I don't know actually. I'd say it was a 50-50 split on the last one. Some people loved it, some people completely hated it. And I know Fabian, you're in the latter
I am
half.
100% in that camp.
One thing I would say about the fifth one is, like you said, it feels like a completely different movie. Obviously, going from Scream 4 to Scream 5, I'm like, none of Sam and Tara are not in Scream 4, and the characters that are in Scream 4, apart from like your legacy characters, are not in Scream 5. And obviously the story about her like being like Billy's daughter, that was fine, but I feel like they needed to come from somewhere and have that, they needed their own Scream 4 to then basically go, this is the second movie we're now going to develop
like
this.
a prior introduction to it. So then the reboot, as they like to say in Scream 4 so much, is then its own trilogy with 5 and 6.
Because the one thing I do think is missing is your original trilogy of obviously Sidney, Dewey and Gale, but obviously you can't rely on these characters 30 years down the line to keep this franchise going, but at the same time I'd say they weren't utilised properly. Obviously Neve Campbell not being in it, I would say, is massive.
Yeah, we'll touch on that, Josh.
Well, Scream 4 obviously was meant to be like the requel that Scream 5 was, as you were just saying, really, I was going to say, but like they killed everyone off. Is the problem, and also it didn't do very well compared to the others. I think it's because obviously they chucked the 4 at the end, and a lot of people didn't want to come back for the fourth one, which is why obviously Scream 5 was titled Scream.
Ooh, one thing I did notice, funny enough, I noticed it earlier today. If you look at the M, the bottom of the M is like lower down. Obviously, it's not, the colour isn't changed. If you really wanted to, you could go, there's the 5, it's in there.
Well, that's what they've done.
No, I mean, so Scream 6 is where they do the, on the end of the M. And
on
Scream 5, where it's just called Scream, where they should have just called it 5 Cream or something, let's be honest now.
Five them.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on something quickly before we move on. What you said, Jordan, about the social commentary. I think there's always been an element of that in the Scream films. Like, even from the start, like, you know, about, like, what was I going to say? About films don't make killers and stuff, because, like, you know, like, since, like, the early 90s or, like, late 80s, people said, like, films and, like, gratuitousness in TV and video games even create killers, and like people still say that now. So like, I don't know. I like that there's a bit of that, but I get what you mean that it's strayed from films.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But they've definitely gone away from their roots of commenting mainly on like horror movies causing these things rather than
But you have to develop, don't you?
these
Sorry.
people are bad.
Right, Frank, you've got the talking stick, my friend.
No, I was going to say, no, people are saying that horror movies make you a killer.
Yeah.
I watched The Exorcist. Doesn't mean I became possessed by a demon. So
Yeah.
spin around
Well, that's
the
what you
screen.
tell people.
Yeah. We know the real truth.
I think a lot of it comes
seen
down to if you're gonna kill someone, you're gonna kill someone. The movie doesn't change that.
What are you trying to tell us, Matt?
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh,
I'm gonna cut you like a fish.
I'm gonna do the awful thing when Ghost just wipes the knife and I make it think he's cutting his own fingers and it makes me feel really
I know.
uncomfortable.
I've always thought, how do you wipe that?
Yeah.
You've only got like a fake little glove
Also,
on.
you know, okay, but I gotta say this. It was sick as fuck when both ghost faces in
Yeah,
this one
I
did
was
that.
just
all.
gonna say-
I turned to Josh. I went nice.
Nice.
Well, it's sick.
Nice.
Cool stuff.
The one thing I noticed is in Scream 1 and 2, you see a lot of the knife wiping, and it disappears a little bit in 3 and 4. I don't think it was in 3 and 4.
I don't think it was.
And then in Scream 5, you see it, it's
Yeah.
very prevalent. And
Yeah.
I think it started off as like a way to keep the continuity, so you
Yeah.
knew which Ghostface was who doing the stabbing, and that's why they were like wiping it.
Yeah.
But I would say it is as iconic as the mask itself, that wipe. Even in Dead by Daylight when he plays Ghostface.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your like
Yeah.
animation is you wipe it, so...
All right then. Let's talk about Ghostface a bit then. I love how brutal and relentless and just I'm gonna fucking kill you
Yeah.
that he is in this one.
Yeah, it's almost like Ghostface. Obviously, I know it's played by different people and so on and so on. Ghostface is its own character.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
they put on that mask,
Yeah,
it's Ghostface.
Actually, I was gonna say I like how appropriated it is now that there are wannabe ghost faces. You see one ghost face, and then he hints at his mate's another one, and they're practicing. And don't do the voice like we said in the
Yeah.
house. Another one rocks up, just fucking kills him because he's killed the other one.
Yeah.
I like that now that, like you say, he's a mythical level.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone
It
could be a
literally
Ghostface.
be
I would
anyone.
say-
Ghost faces are killing ghost faces at this point.
It ties into the movie Joker, where everybody's Joker at the end.
Is everybody Joker at the
No,
end?
do you know what I mean? Like, it's the idea, innit?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah, I know
yeah.
what you mean.
Oh yeah, in that case, yeah.
I was trying to
actually,
think
I
of the end of the riot or the casting. I was like, there was no one dressed as Joker, was there?
agree. There's like 20 of them. Like, hello, I'm Joaquin
I
Phoenix.
was gonna say Caesar Romero, Heath Ledger.
The animated one is there.
Jared Leto, he's not Leto.
Jared Leto's in the ground.
Yeah.
With Heath Ledger. Sorry, Tom, but don't come for me.
Topical.
Oh, for God's sake, man. Right. Let's talk about what we didn't like about this movie. I know
Kevin's got a big bag of
Kevin's got
worms.
a big thing.
I'll go last. I'll
Alright,
let you
then.
all get yours out of the way.
I don't have as many because again, it's like it's one of my favourite franchises of all time. But there are things
There
I
are
don't
things.
like about this, so I'm gonna just list them off.
Okay.
Matt, if you agree with me, we'll kind of bounce
I
off.
probably will, yeah.
and we'll
I
go
got
from
some.
there.
And then
So,
we'll go to Jordan and
Yeah.
Tom.
exactly, because I just saw the glint in Matt's eye.
I know,
before
I
said
got a
Matt.
few things, yeah.
So-
I'm gonna put my legs back at this one.
The utilisation of Gail really got under my skin.
Yeah.
I felt like she didn't even need to be there. The new cast were doing an alright job.
Yeah.
I felt like they were fine. Gail literally just felt like an afterthought. She was just chucked in there. She should have died.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this one, but you know what? In fact, it's a problem with everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody got fucked up in this and nobody died.
Again,
I
I got
really
a note.
don't
I
like
got a
that.
note on that. There's too many fake outs.
Yeah.
I was glad that Gail's character survived, but the way they did it, if you're gonna do that, just leave her die. Don't bring her back. But I personally feel like without Dewey and Sydney, she is hindered. And obviously, if the two of them were in this movie, her performance might have been better. But like Josh said, it's pointless with fucking being there because she didn't really do
And
much.
Courtney Cox's weird face just was not agreeing with me.
I did
this
like
time.
though how she does the dodge because everyone always fucking punches her, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Tara just ends up
Yeah.
punching her. That was funny.
I thought,
That
give
was
her a
funny.
break. Give her a weird face a break.
I
No wonder
know,
she
but-
looks different.
and
She's
I-
been
I-
caved in.
I get like her nature is meant to be she's quite cold-hearted deep down, but like, how many times can you reset someone's character in
Yeah.
one franchise?
Yeah, I
She's
thought
gone
that.
back to cold-hearted Gail 3 times now in
Yeah.
6 films.
She's after all the shit that she's been through and the bonds that she's made and lost.
Yeah.
You'd think that she'd be like kind of like more of a mother figure to these
I
girls.
know.
Well,
And
Ghostface made a point, didn't he? He was like, well, you know, it would have been a good twist if you were Ghostface.
I know, because like when it cut and she was just like on the computer or whatever, I was like, oh shit, she might actually be fucking
Yeah.
Ghostface.
And then she kills like her boyfriend or whatever, and she just doesn't even like think about it. This
Yeah.
man is
Yeah.
dead.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure the line literally was, all those muscles couldn't help him, could they? And she went, oh, that's right.
You go, I'm not Dewey. I'm sorry. I'm just not Dewey.
I'll tell you one thing I didn't mind. I think the pace was pretty fine.
Yeah, pace was
I think
very
the
good,
pace was
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that the new boyfriend was just the most bland cardboard cutout of a character I've
Yeah.
ever seen in
This-
my life.
I liked how obviously they did the thing with the boyfriend, where obviously since it being Billy, the boyfriend in every Scream, whether you're a boyfriend of someone, has always been maybe you're the killer. And even
Never trust the love.
what was his name? Danny, was that his name?
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah.
Don't
Derek.
trust
No,
any-
no. In this
Keep
one,
going.
Don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even me.
I keep calling
Yeah.
him. I still call him Pug because of She-Hulk.
Oh fuck!
I
He's in
found
jail.
it really
Pug.
weird that he delivered
Exactly.
on his lines like
Yeah.
this the entire
Like,
time.
I
as if
didn't
he
mind
was
him.
high.
I didn't mind him as a
Drinking on set.
character because he was trying to do the whole "you're right, you shouldn't trust me" thing, which was needed from a boyfriend, but like again, kind of pointless.
Like Scream 2, he's
Yeah.
just like Derek.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yes.
don't know.
But
Derek-
Derek's just a dope. He deserves to die after that
he-
horrible canteen
I
scene.
do High School
I
Musical.
got a feeling. I
Funny
don't
enough, they
know.
talk about character assassination in this. You know, in Scream 2, I think it's quite funny how even to the last minute, Mickey was like, I'm gonna fuck with Sydney, and be like, look, Derek is totally the killer mind.
Yeah.
He is so nuts, and he killed him himself. He was like, no.
And she's like, so was he the killer? He's like, fuck no, it's me.
He's like, look at
Idiot.
this
It's me,
Yeah.
it's me, Timothy Oliphant.
One of my favourite actors, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I think he's great.
One other thing I didn't like is the whole fucking Chad and Tara romance, and don't come at
Really?
me, it's not me going, oh, General Ortega, she's so meant, why aren't you with me? No, like, it was pointless. He's a big fucking jock, and she's some young sister. It felt rushed and it felt silly, personally.
I thought it came out of nowhere as well.
Yeah.
Is it like, do you still feel like she's the little sister character? But then,
Yes and no. I feel like I know obviously she spent the majority of the last movie in the hospital, but there's just no chemistry between them. Obviously, they build the chemistry throughout the movie, but at the same time, when he's like looking out for her and sitting down, I'm like, where was this
Yeah,
before?
but
Where this is-
Chad had the misses in the last one. to
Yeah,
be
no,
fair.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. He had a misses, so I was like,
Hey, what happened to her?
Oh,
She
she
was
got murdered at
shocked.
the beginning of the
Oh,
third
cool,
act.
cool.
They literally declare it. Welcome to the third act. and
Oh
she
yes,
shot it.
yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you're
thought
right.
I thought it was dumb and pointless. It was yeah.
Was it a bunch of silly poo, man?
Silly poo. It got better as it went on, and you could see how they did kind of care for each other. But at the start, I was like, this is pointless.
And then they kiss, and she just gets brutally stabbed in the back. But
Yeah.
at this point, being stabbed is literally like taking a bag of air to the face.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I thought seeing Scream 5 is when they wheel Chad out on the gurney and he does the thumbs up like Dewey does.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
exactly what I was
And
thinking.
I was thinking, oh, maybe going forward he's gonna be like Dewey. You can think he's dead and he's gonna come back like Dewey does, and he does in this one as well. And I was like, okay, it's another fake out, which sucks, but it's doing the thing that I thought about when I first saw the fifth film, and so it's kind of sticking to that. So I couldn't be mad about that.
Okay, so I have one more thing that was like a major problem with this. And I don't think this is like from a filmmaking perspective, this is more like a personal thing. I did not care for the motive in this, and I feel like it was rehashed from Scream 2 as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought, I know I'm trying to keep my opinions to a minimum, but I thought,
Ready for the rant.
yeah, but I thought, why make a plot about a character that no one cared about or
Yeah.
no one liked?
Well, from what I gather, and I might not be 100% on this, back when Nev Campbell was still involved,
yeah.
there was a different script.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then when
Scream having a different script?
Oh, I know.
You're
It's
Just
joking.
like Scream
Oh, we'll
2!
be getting
And
into that.
3.
Yeah. And 4,
Four.
actually. They were all being written
It's
on the fly.
Fucking stupid.
And it really fucking
Yeah.
shows.
They even mention it in Scream 3. They're like, this is like the 5th rewrite in like 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, come on, you're lying.
But yeah, so there was a different script, obviously, and obviously Nev Campbell was like, I don't get enough money, so I'm off. So they replaced her with Kirby, which was cool, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think there were a lot of other things that were changed around as
Yeah.
well, so I think they may have changed the... I don't know if the Richie thing was from the beginning, but that might have also been a rewrite as well.
The
Yeah.
only thing about that bit I like is it keeps the motif of family. Like, if you look at every Scream movie, there's always been some sort of family connection.
Yeah.
This one being their Richie's
No, let's be honest,
family.
it all comes down to the fact that Sydney's mother was not Sharon Stone.
Let's
Yeah.
face it, she wasn't Sharon
Yeah, so
Stone.
that's the thing. It's like someone's got a relationship to Sydney's mother, or even Sydney herself, or Billy through Sydney, and so there's like
Yeah.
ties everywhere. So even though this is very fucking thin, because it's got nothing to do with Sydney, it's a family thing. So that is the only thing about
But yeah, I
that.
get what you mean.
But
Yeah.
it was puppy.
Tiny thing as well, the last thing I want to say before you can all get in there and go for it. I hated the fact that like the entire family were all nuts, cuckoo, bananas.
Yeah,
Like
that was pointless. It
they,
was,
at a flip of a switch, they went from being quite calm and being collected, like, okay, we just want to kill her because, you know, you killed my brother, being like smacking their head with a mallet, going, cuckoo, cuckoo.
I'm a literal police officer, but I'm also insane.
Yeah.
He literally would go from like at the dime of a hat and be like, oh, all good. He's like, you know, I'm gonna kill you, but you know, I don't want to kill you, but you fucked my family over. 10 seconds later, they just screaming, calm
I
down.
thought he was brown bread, not gonna lie. I thought the
thought
scene
they
in the
were all
park
brown
and
bread.
stuff, I was like, this man is so dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I suspected him. I'm not gonna lie.
But one thing I've seen is they always do kind of cast a little bit of shade on the police officer in Scream. this time it's actually paid off as it being the police
Yeah.
officer. So I was like, okay, they've done something new, I suppose.
Well, Mark Kincaid married Sydney.
I know.
So that's good.
And she go, I'm just gay now.
Yeah.
You've had enough of men.
No, girlfriend is killer.
Oh, right.
Spice
Before
it
we
up.
move on to Fairbairn's inhuman rant,
Loose
Um,
the dogs of war.
Frank and Jordan, are there
Yeah.
any things that you want to talk about that you didn't like?
Yes.
Go for it.
So, right, I with like one of the killers being the police officer's daughter, like them killing her off and then her coming back was like, oh, like,
It was just
again,
for the audience.
yeah, it's another fake out again, but like,
Yeah.
it also does not make sense, like how
Where are they going to go?
you're not getting that woman out of there without anyone seeing
Yeah.
you.
Because he says, he makes a
Right.
thing about,
Yeah.
oh, a grieving
A
father can make
grieving
mistakes.
policeman can get away with lots. Not that
No.
much, my guy.
That is
No.
literal
Stop.
serial murderers.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And plus, does he think that these bodies just chucked in a bin afterwards? No, the morgue is going to check her, like the
Yeah.
mortician's going to check her out.
That's a plastic doll, that is. Why have we got this? Oh, do you know what? I made a mistake.
It doesn't even look like her. It's like the different ethnicity and everything. It's just a completely different person.
It's like Joe, when you see spoof movies and they do like a fighting scene and it's blatantly a stunt man in a wig or something.
It's just the pilot from Airplane.
Yes.
Autopilot.
It's like, do you ever see Epic Movie?
Yeah.
And they have the fight scene with the lion is just blatant like this Asian martial arts fighter, and it's not Fred. What's his face?
Oh, carry on, Jordan. Sorry to cut you off.
It's alright. It's fine. It's totally fine. Ethan,
Yeah,
come back to me.
I'm gonna bounce off what you've said. The siblings being in the friend group, but not telling them that they're brother and sister. You could sort of tell that they were, because when
Are they kissing?
they were kissing the back.
What are you doing, Scarecrow?
No, when they were all in the flat or apartment, wherever the fuck they were, and the first announcement came on, so that it screams back, they're all gonna kill someone.
They're sweating.
They look at each other and it's like, oh, let's not tell each other.
I missed that completely. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's a
It's,
good observation, Frank.
Yeah, so when they're all like interrogating each other, like, you know, you're the killer, no, you're the killer.
Just
where are
Mindy,
you?
basically. To be honest, the entire
I
time.
Yeah.
wanna, I want to touch on that.
You
once
go first.
Once you finish with this, Frank, I want to touch on Mindy.
Yeah, they didn't really like, you know, say no.
No.
You know, it couldn't be us.
Didn't even lie.
Which is like, well, probably.
I had econ. I had fuck off.
I don't know what the fuck is econ.
Economics.
Oh right.
Oh.
I'll just say economics.
Oh my
Of
god.
course not, they're American.
I went to Gloucester.
Yeah.
Raw. That is so poverty.
Jordan, did you
Right.
want
Mindy.
His favourite character. He says with venom in his voice.
I agree.
This is
I already know where this is going, and I agree. Carry on.
She's a lot.
Yeah. she's too
Not
much.
a lot of good things, but she's a lot. Like
She's a character.
she almost went to like Deadpool levels of like meta, like I was half expecting to look at the camera and be like, what if you're the killer? Like, no, stop
Maybe that's
it.
the commentary.
Yeah.
The commentary is that we don't know how to make Scream movies anymore, we're just gonna do this. Yeah.
I did like how obviously Randy has always been like the rules guy, even coming back in like Scream 3 as his
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't that bad.
No, that's what I
though.
mean. She wasn't bad. Mindy wasn't bad in Scream 5.
No, she wasn't.
And it
you're
makes
right.
sense to obviously have Randy's
Speak for
niece,
yourself.
you know, Randy's niece be the one to continue on the rules, and I'm the fucking weird nerd.
Yeah.
Like Jordan said, she takes it too far, you know, and she's got everyone sitting down, going through the rules like they all always do.
She
In
literally
public as
has
well. Yeah.
strong femme lead or character on her
Yeah.
t-shirt. That is so blatant in your face. I literally turned to Josh. I was like, in your face, like.
The thing is though,
Right, you know, I'm gonna pause myself. Carry on. I just.
Right, no,
It grinds my gears.
I'm done with what I
people hate it. Like Emily Blunt said, if she sees the word strong female lead on a script, she walks out.
Because it's just like.
It's to
You know
degrade
what?
it in a way.
Yeah, it's like if someone asked, like, you know, if you were describing someone in real life, you would never go like talking to a woman. She's a strong female character.
You know what? No, I'm thinking about it. Thanks to mostly Mindy, actually. Originally, obviously, Scream is kind of like a commentary on horror movies, yeah, but it's not like full-blown parody. Now it's going into that
Yeah.
territory,
Yeah.
and it's not doing well because of it.
It's
though.
becoming a parody of itself.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're literally starting to sound like scary movie
Yeah, I was
jokes.
about to say.
Yeah, that's
movie.
exactly what I was
They
thinking.
mentioned Scary Movie multiple
Multiple
times
times,
during
yeah.
this film. through multiple different characters with multiple different references to the scary
Do
movie.
you know what it is, though? It's the same kind of thing with James Bond and Austin Powers. They become so similar that they just don't know what to do anymore, and then they're just making the parody of themselves,
And so on and so on.
Yeah.
Forever.
Also, before that, just a little fun fact.
Yeah.
Scary Movie was the original
Name for
title.
Scream, yeah.
Is that kind of like how the original working title of Star Wars filmed, Blue Harvest?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's stolen, that is.
That's- don't copyright
It should have been Blue Milk.
Don't come after us,
Blue,
please. Yeah.
blue alien boob milk.
My favourite.
Yeah.
We have,
Big
we
favourite
have a
as well.
shop in our local area, the Blue Alien Boob Milk.
So I drink all the time,
I put
personally.
that on a t-shirt, to be fair.
Right.
Right,
are we
Fairbairn,
all-
are you
all
ready
done?
to
Yeah.
unleash your rant?
I am. Okay, so
He's been leaking a little bit.
I just this isn't a very good film. I don't think at all. I really love how it was shot. The suspense was great. The soundtrack stinks. It was so manipulative. Like right at the start, like after the first kills, it just cuts to a shitty pop song. And it's like, oh, this is meant to feel good, ladies and gentlemen. Like, all right, audience is positive now. We're in New York, and then a sad moment happens, and they argue, and oh, you're gonna feel sad, and Billie Eilish is singing. Let a moment speak for itself. Sorry, Josh.
I was doing a little background music anyway.
There should be like Hellfire from Hunchback playing.
Fire.
The only, I think you can talk about the music, the only thing you can say is good is that they keep Red Right Hand. Like,
Yes.
I don't mind.
They used it a few times.
Dewey's theme when it was used.
Yeah, you know
was
what?
used well.
Okay, yeah, props. That was very good. That was a very nice moment. The orchestral stuff, fine. The pop music, like the current, like, fuck off. It's so
It
manipulative.
sounds like shit that Scream would make fun of.
Yeah. Scream.
parody of itself.
It's
Scream,
becoming
yeah.
a parody of
Scream
what
makes fun of film. That's the whole point of Scream, is
Yeah.
to laugh at shit like this and to poke fun and a nudge of the ribs. Now it's just, we're referencing things. Do you know we're talking about things? This happened in Scream. I'm going to reference Halloween for like the 18th time. And also, by the way, I can't remember who, it was that stupid Mindy girl. She said that Laurie Strode died, just to keep the franchise alive. Laurie Strode died in Halloween fucking Resurrection. That's over 20 years ago. She didn't die
Yeah, I
in the
was gonna say.
H40 trilogy. That's the whole point. She killed Michael Myers and she has a happy
Yeah,
ending.
Resurrection was the last one in that timeline, wasn't it?
So just like fucking Randy, you got a quote wrong in Scream 2. That bitch got something wrong in fucking Scream 6.
But what if they were just trying to, bring it back?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
anyway.
think that was intentional. I hate all of these characters.
Really?
I took a lot of pleasure in watching them get fucked up because they're not characters. They are just like cardboard cutouts of characters. This one likes films, so she talks about films, and she's a strong female lead. Let's have her have a t-shirt saying strong female lead. Chad is big and strong and muscles. We'll literally call him Chad. They even make a joke about that.
He's
Yeah,
literally called
I hope
Chad.
he died. I hope they both died because they were so annoying, and I don't think they're good actors. Jenna, Sam and Tara, whatever their names were,
Tara.
they were just stupid. They were literally written as morons. Every time they punched Ghostface, even fucking Gale did this. They ran away.
Yeah.
Stab him with the knife. If someone's trying to kill you, you're gonna kill them. Why would you run away? It's like a Scooby-Doo
I
episode.
think with that sort of thing, though, at least with like the rest of it, I'll more or less jump on your bandwagon there. But like when it comes to that sort of thing, I feel like you have to suspend your disbelief sometimes to
Yeah.
keep the narrative going.
But like they did it like 12 times.
Yeah, there's a line in there.
Well, like
Yeah.
we said, it's the fake out deaths as well. They have
Yeah.
it like a million times.
It's like they are trying. So I know, right, that the people that directed this and wrote this are very big Scream fans, but like
Radio silence.
sometimes it's best to just not let.
Would you
fans-
say they should have kept their radio silence?
Yes, I was gonna say something like that. Yeah, I don't think they are very good writers. I think they're quite terrible, and I think they're trying so hard to just copy off what the other ones did without being their own thing. Screamfall literally made a point of it being like a soft reboot, quote unquote. So make it that. Go in a new direction. Don't get these like stupid idiot characters. Like they're literally like Netflix original characters. You know what I'm saying the other day? I'm the gay one. By the way, I'm bisexual. I'm doing this, and then they just stay there as the one. They are so one-dimensional that
They
it
need
hurts.
to evolve as
It
characters.
hurts
Right.
watching
'Cause
these people.
I was gonna say the character Mindy's girlfriend. I bet we all forgot about her, didn't we?
Yeah.
She was meant to die.
Was she even in Scream 5?
No,
Like, don't
no,
remember.
well, no, it's in
Oh.
New York that they met up with them.
Yeah.
all. Well,
You know-
Quinn's character, she is.
I hated her.
They literally just said she's a slut,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
She's here to be provocative.
Get it? Teens and young people, like young adults, use sex.
No, just
Okay.
remember, boys, she's sex positive. She's
Yeah.
not a slut.
Yeah.
I was
Alright, then
quoting.
she died.
I was
I was
quoting
gonna say-
them. Thank you very much.
We're gonna-
I am not the bigot.
We're gonna come across as some like absolute like right wing incels that would just hate women.
Right, we're not the quartering, just to put it out there.
You know what? Actually, no. She's a murderer. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's completely fine to insult her. She's a murderer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
She's
Yeah.
slut.
She's
Yeah,
a slutty
exactly.
murderer.
Should we do some a rhetorical point?
Hit us.
People will probably notice this, but as we get through the movies, I'm going to reference them in the movie they come into.
Yeah.
Sam and Tara Carpenter. I think we're all in agreement that Carpenter is
Yeah, John Carpenter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
And I've got some other names. Those viewing at home can Google these
Have
names.
you got
for
Joe
yourselves.
Mama on there? Or?
But I've
You
got a name for Scream 4/5, which we'll probably cover in 5, and there's one in 5 as well.
Yeah.
And there's a few other names that I'm gonna bring up as,
Yeah.
as they come. So
Oh right, okay.
that was it.
Right, okay. I think we've covered Scream 6. Does anyone else want to say before
There was
we...
a few good points about the film, I will say.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's not
I
all
agree.
bad.
It's one of the scarier Scream films, if not the scariest.
I definitely think it's the
Relating
scariest.
to what I said about Ghostface now being like a mythical stature of a character, right? I feel like this is the best Ghostface himself has been.
Yeah.
Like, you know the
Yeah.
shit he was saying to Gail? I was like,
He's
whoa!
really-
I know,
Reckless.
he's
yeah.
a nasty little boy, he is. He was like, your husband's fucking dead. Alright, and I fucking, well not me, but like, you know,
And
the
I
other
quote,
one.
when he
fucking
laid there
needs
screaming and choking on his own guts. So I was like, well, okay.
it. He's just
Right.
like, that's
Bruh.
horrible that is. He's like, well I'm gonna kill you, so...
And when he was in the fucking corner shop, and the guy was like, right, dude, back off.
He's like,
And-
I love the head tap, he's like, you saying that to me? Yeah?
Do you know, have you seen this? What I'm wearing?
He's like, I've got a knife in my hand there, and I'm gonna get...
And then another guy comes in and he's like, you leave him alone. He goes, you're having it as well.
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
It's like that meme of the guy who just keeps slapping people in a row over and over again.
You're having it, and so you for putting a big nose in my business.
And then he kills the guy, the fucking guy who owns the shop.
He's like, you're in the way.
To be fair, he had his last stand moment. He's like, get out the back while I hold him off.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that just
And you go
reminded me of
McBailey.
something. That final fight, that cop is a moron. He had a perfect chance to shoot Samantha right between the eyes twice. And you go,
Oh yeah, well, they
He
run
runs
each
through
other.
it, yeah.
And was that a reference to Mission Impossible 2, by the way?
Um,
They
I
probably
want to
collided.
say, so, but like,
It's not that
probably
smart.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like that's I even said to Hannah, like as we were watching it in the cinema, I was like, why didn't he just shoot her? Why did he
Yeah,
run in
I
the
was
way?
thinking that.
Well, he said he wanted to like make sure he wanted to make sure before he killed her that like he could get the mask on her and make her look.
But
You could
implicated
do that
in
when
the
she's
crime.
dead.
I think it was more like he wanted to get like a video of it, so
Yeah.
there's proof of it, you know.
Going into that now with Sam being a
He's the
killer,
only one alive, though.
like they really drive home that like you know she's the daughter of Billy Loomis.
Oh, yeah, they really do,
It just
uh,
reminded me of
But
something.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Skeet Ulrich is great. I think because he wasn't in it as much that moment when she's in front of the.
Please say what I think you're
I
gonna say.
just think...
I was saying, the moment when she's in front of the costume thing and you see him, that's fine.
No.
It does a bit. No, I personally thought it was fine.
You're wrong.
But they're driving her as like being
You're
a killer,
wrong.
and I'm thinking because if you look at like some of the other Scream movies, there's always hints like maybe Sidney killed them, and then they've doubled down on that and gone.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously Sam hasn't actually killed them, but they're doubling down on her
Yeah,
being a
but-
killer, and I'm thinking, are they going to try and do a full 720 and make her Ghostface in an upcoming movie?
No,
Well,
I'd like
no.
to. No, they're pretending. I genuinely think they just like she has a dark side, so she doesn't mind.
Do you
You know?
reckon they're doing a Jamie Lloyd in this?
Maybe.
From
actually.
Halloween?
Yeah.
Better not.
Very much
Where they
maybe
go,
so.
she's going to be the next one as the killer, and then they go, actually, no.
We lied.
And then
We're
she's
full
in
of
three,
lies.
and then she's in 3 more.
Yeah.
And then they imply that Michael has a child with it.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I did
Oh,
like them bringing
my head.
Kirby back
It's...
because
Do
obviously
you reckon he wore the mask?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just weird to think of him wearing that mask and taking off his overalls and...
Do you
Michael
reckon
Myers
there's just this
schlong.
rippling body?
it's like the fucking. No, I've lost my train of thought. It's gone. But I will say, bringing Kirby back was good because obviously she's a stand-in for Neve Campbell, but at the same time, the foreshadowing, but when the cop is like, detective officer man was like, Kirby's the killer. You can kind of think actually maybe she could because obviously her,
Yeah, I
ambigu-
thought she
her, her
was, I'm not
ambiguous
gonna lie.
fate at the end of Scream 4 ties in really well.
Yeah,
and obviously it made sense for lack of a better word, and then obviously you have like the showdown in the.
They set it up pretty early as well to like put shade in it
Yeah.
with the guy, the shoot man.
The officer, whatever
Yeah.
officer.
I
Bailey.
literally can't
Bailey.
remember his name.
Bailey.
What is
Bailey,
his last
thank
name?
you.
Kirsch?
Bailey. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, you know what? Actually, that's something that I just didn't think about. Actually, so obviously now, right? He's in the police force. Yeah. You can't really hide the fact your son was a fucking murderer
Yeah.
from anyone. Like that's
They vet you every so often.
yeah, and like it just wouldn't happen, would it? It'd be
So
like,
did he change his name then?
yeah, but
They
people would,
know.
yeah, the
Yeah, people
police
gave
Oh,
him
yeah,
his
back
face.
then.
Oh, Kirchy Mosh, why have you changed your name then?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
come on.
know.
And also,
Do those meters that just happened.
but not only that, like, you know, if he has moved to cities, right, with his kids, because they said they all transferred and went to uni or whatever, right, and they rocked up at the place where conveniently a new Ghostface has rocked up, the police are instantly going to go,
Yes.
you and your
Yeah.
kids are up to something.
That is a good point. I didn't think of that.
Neither did the right
And your
bits.
kid,
No, of
is,
course
your
he
kid
did,
is
yeah.
also like in a place where the other people got like.
I don't think I
Stand
remember
up.
what. I
They're
don't
in the
remember
same friendship group.
I don't remember what Samantha looks like. Surely you remember what fucking Bailey Boy's gonna look like.
Bailey
His
Boy.
stupid kids, his stupid, so dead kids.
Well, I suppose that she never met his parents, I suppose.
You know, I mean, like people.
Or anyone, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been on the news, wouldn't it? Like the
Yeah.
parents' reaction live,
Exactly.
whatever.
Like,
I think.
Right, this is
We've
pro- this-
done on Scream 6 now, I think.
Yeah, I want to touch on. I mean, this can play into Scream 5, so we'll use this as a segue. But I really, really didn't like Billy Loomis popping up, and I really don't like the fact that they're trying to make him an anti-hero. When,
Yes,
when he's like,
yes.
"Come on, fucking Samantha, stab him up, this Carson Carney. You're a scumbag.
Yeah.
You killed like so many people, and you cheated on Neve Campbell, which is a crime in itself, and had kids with someone else, and now
And-
yeah."
They framed Cotton Weary. How
did.
dare they?
Oh yeah, that boy.
Liv
that
Schreiber.
poor boy, Liv Schreiber.
But like,
Super tough.
that's a good segue onto Billy Loomis's Scream 1. Hello, we are going back to the start, 1996, was it?
Yeah, it was 96,
Alright,
yeah.
okay, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
rub a
However,
band.
one sec. It was also just horrific CGI.
Yeah!
Yeah,
They
it
could have
looked
literally
old.
just,
Yeah.
they could have literally just like filmed it and then overlapped it onto that film
Yeah.
with her. It would have just been so much better.
Every time he popped up, I was just saying to
Oh.
myself, just go away.
Wouldn't it have
He
been
looked,
better?
he looked
Go
like
away,
the kid
bro.
in Thor when he was like talking to him.
You're right.
He fully did.
Wouldn't
It was that level of bad CGI.
It would have been better if it was just his reflection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
And
mean.
it wouldn't need to be older. Like Jordan said, just like
Leave it
pull
there.
it from the original
Yeah.
movie and that would have been fine.
Don't even have him speaking.
Just have it there, just
Yeah.
looking at
Because
it.
like,
He's
I
like,
will
I'm so
agree.
dead.
Because show don't tell.
Yeah, I will agree with
100%.
Federn. Like, don't make him an anti-hero. He is a bad person. However, because that's Sam's father, and that's the link she has, because she thinks she's a bad person.
Yeah.
So that's her basically saying, "I see him because I see myself like him," and I think it's all right. I
Yeah.
personally like it, but like you said, don't make him a good person.
It's too literal. I think it's too
Yeah.
literal. You don't need to see her soul literally talking to her.
I'm half, yeah, exactly. I'm half expecting Sony to make a fucking prequel series about him killing people in the afterlife or something. He's an anti-hero. He teams up with Morbius and Michael Keaton.
He's in the the Hellraiser universe,
Yeah.
wherever the Deadites come from.
Oh,
whatever, fucking
one little
Cenobite.
tidbit before we move on. This is completely nothing to do with it, but it just made me smile. In the Halloween party, there's someone dressed as Hot Rod, which is a film featuring Andy
Is it?
Samberg I really like.
Would you like, yeah, that's nice.
I was like, hey, that was for me. I was.
That's it. Right, Scream
Right.
1 then.
Yeah, we'll
Scream
go back
1.
to Scream 1. Okay.
Arguably one of my favourite movies of all time.
I'll tell you what it isn't an argument. It's the best Scream movie.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that is
yeah,
easy.
hands down.
That is like one of the easiest things. There will be no discussion about that. That is fact.
You know, all right. I was talking to Josh a lot because we were preparing to do battle for this episode because it's been a long time coming. I've never really been a big Scream fan, and I always.
Would you
know,
say you weren't screaming for Scream then?
No, 100%.
Fucking
I'm still not. If anything, I'm screaming at Scream. But well, anyway, I was just like, yeah, Scream 1's all right. It's the best of them, but like, I don't really care. He was like, I think you'll change your mind, and it's a very charming film.
It is, isn't it? It is.
Even if you don't want to like it.
It's got the Wes Craven charm and the
Yeah.
good Wes Craven dialogue as well.
Yeah.
Because it's the same with the Nightmare movies. Something they have that a lot of slashers don't have, same for Scream in the earlier ones anyway, is you do start to like these characters
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you think, I don't want these people to die. Even more so, you think, oh my god, what if this character I like is a killer?
Yeah, that just goes to good writing and it's good character
You're right.
development
Yeah,
in and of
exactly.
itself.
And that's because of Kevin Williamson.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is the writer?
he's a great writer.
He did the first. Did he do 4?
Yes.
Yes.
But then he left.
He did 4 and then he didn't do 5.
Oh, well, you can
I
see
think
that.
he was doing Vampire
Yeah.
Diaries at the same
He
time.
did
wasn't
Scream 1, Scream 2. He took a break at Scream 3, came back for Scream 4,
Oh, he
and
was
then missed
doing.
out 5 and 6.
Wasn't he doing like constant rewrites of Scream 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he,
We're going to get to that, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Yeah,
we'll come back to
yeah.
that later.
What I will say though is that this is a very, very silly film. This is a very like it's good. I don't mean it as a bad way, but like
Goofy art.
yeah, this is a dumb
But
film.
again, look at Wes Craven though. Like with Nightmare, they're quite
Campy.
goofy. I know they didn't start
Other
goofy,
than
but
the first two,
2 is arguably the most serious.
yeah, 2 is like when people die, you're like, fuck hell.
Calm down, man. I think I can help you.
Help yourself, fucker.
But again, one thing.
Flings him about.
Ooh.
I think this is arguably the goofiest Ghostface appearance.
Yeah.
He's fucking flailing
Well, it's good.
everywhere.
It's good.
He's
It's Stu,
falling
isn't
about.
it?
Yeah.
My favourite gag of all time, during Ghostface, he gets the shit kicked out of him. My favourite one is when Tim opens the fucking fridge in his face, and that
He
might be
falls over.
my favourite time Ghostface gets backed, and she's chucking fucking beer bottles at him, and he's it's
What I
funny as
always forget is the fact that Tatum is obviously Dewey's
Dewey's
sister.
sister.
Oh yeah, I forget about
I
that. as well.
always
fuck. I
forget.
have a note about this.
Go on,
Yeah.
hit me.
So obviously Tatum gets forgotten a lot about, considering she was Sydney's best friend.
Yeah.
She was Stu's girlfriend.
Sydney's not allowed best friends, right?
Yeah, so he's not like nothing.
There's a note for that on Scream 2 as well.
Ah.
And obviously they show her a memorial in Scream 5 in Dewey's trailer, but I think she's forgotten about. And also, was Billy the one to kill her, or did you think Stu did it? And also, why would I know Stu's
Oh,
unhinged, but
yeah.
why would he kill his own mistress?
No, I think it was Billy because Stu was out being party
Hugh
horseman.
Hefner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you reckon that he knew then that he was in on it? That Tatum was gonna die?
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing,
think.
yeah, I was gonna say
Well,
that
to be
no,
fair,
yeah.
I think obviously there's a lot of subtext to them having a romance, Billy and Stu.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like Stu was just easily led, and he even says that in the movie. And also, Drew Barrymore, her character, is an ex of Stu's.
Yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
Well, she rejects him, doesn't she? Oh,
No,
she
they
breaks
were
up with him, yeah.
seeing, and when you see her reaction when she takes the mask off, yeah, you can say she'd have that reaction to anyone. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it looks like the face of someone who's been scorned by an ex-lover.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd go with.
Well, interesting. Neve Campbell or Nev Campbell, whatever her name is. She said a little while ago. I was reading an article that there was definitely subtext written into the thing. That's part of where their anger comes from. Is that they're not allowed to be who they want to be.
Which
Or
is
something. I think Kevin Williamson is gay. I think he put that in
yeah,
intentionally.
Maybe then.
I'm not sure. Don't quote
Yeah.
me
And
on
obviously,
that. Frog, pull that shit out.
Wes is a massive
Check the logs,
filmmaker
quick.
himself. Wes would know that, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's kind of similar in... Did Wes do Nightmare 2?
I think he
so.
produced it.
Because
He
there's
definitely didn't direct
Yeah,
it.
because he didn't
didn't wanna do a sequel.
sequels. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
There's
was
a
an
lot
executive
of
producer. Yeah.
homoerotic subtext in
Oh
Nightmare
yes,
2, isn't there?
heavily.
Yeah, so and back then people would just say, oh, you're pushing an agenda, but back then, people didn't have representation really.
No.
Yeah,
did
no,
they?
they didn't. And
So
if
that's
they
the
did,
only
they
way
usually
they
be
kept-
villains.
It is very subtle.
Yeah.
It's obviously, I wouldn't want to say Stu's cuddling Billy at the end, but they're very they're close. But obviously,
Yeah.
I would still say that Billy would kill Stu just if it meant he'd get away with it
Yeah,
himself.
100%.
Yeah, he would, of course.
Wrong.
Funnily enough, Matt, as I'm pulling up this information, I've got them both cuddling.
There's the
Yeah, it says here, screenwriter Kevin Williamson confirms Billy and Stu are queer.
well, no, their queer relationship was based on real people, so
Yeah.
it is a bit.
Well,
yeah.
you
So,
could-
so they are gay.
You could say that
No,
maybe
I
Billy
say
didn't.
or-
Billy didn't have a thing for Stu, but Stu definitely
Yes.
had a thing for Billy. At
Yeah,
least,
yeah.
anyway.
I reckon they fucked.
because if you look at a lot of the killers,
I'm just putting it out there. I reckon they were having some secret angry,
Some sausage
murderous
time.
sex.
a lot of the Ghostface killers
With the masks on.
are always
Yeah.
boy
Like
and
Michael.
girl. With the exception of Roman being the only single killer,
Yeah.
it's always a boy and girl killer, apart from Billy and Stu, where it's two boys.
Yeah.
But the boy
Well,
and
one of
girls-
them had to be the
I was
girl.
gonna
If
say,
you're picking up what I'm
exactly.
putting down.
Well,
He's picking up the salt.
In hell.
And funny enough, obviously, Jill and what's the Culkin guy's name?
Macaulay.
that's
Macaulay.
him.
It's Corey Culkin.
No, it's his brother.
Which one now?
the killer in the Scream
Stupid
4.
long hair freak. Just
He's a
call him
Culkin
Oh
that.
yeah,
kid.
Charlie. I know his
Yeah.
name's
I was
Charlie.
saying, my
but,
God, Matt. Yeah. So, what was I going to say about them? They're like another romance
It's
thing
romance
again.
thing again.
But then obviously Jill literally was like, "No, you're gonna die now.
You're gonna die
This
now."
is it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna betray you right here."
Same with Richie and Amber in the fifth one.
You know
No, they,
what?
no, they, no, they
No,
were
they're
the most.
together.
They were the most in unison.
No,
though,
but they were
weren't
together,
Yeah.
boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah, they were the most innocent. Yeah, you're right. All right, boys. Is there anything you didn't like about Scream 1 before we jump on? Because I've got a question to ask after that.
Not necessarily. I really enjoyed it for what it was. Obviously, there's things like you might not agree with, like a certain shot or the way a character's written, but I think as a movie, it is really good, and it does really well what it's supposed
I'm
to
gonna
do.
say it rears towards perfect territory.
Yes.
in my
Really?
opinion, which is why I have genuinely nothing bad to say.
I think some of the dialogue's a bit corny.
90s.
Leave her alone.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a joke.
I thought that Stu and Billy are so comedically obviously the murderers.
Yeah.
Is that intentional? I've heard people say it is. I think it's a bit of a happy coincidence, I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's the point with Billy. Obviously, he's portrayed in this way, like it's a fake out. They want you to think he's the killer.
Yeah,
So
I
then
know,
they
I
can
know.
go, he's not. Actually, we
How
did that.
dumb is he to rock up to Sydney's room and drop the phone as well?
Yeah.
I find it funny that could have only happened in a 90s movie though, because
Yeah.
now if you drop a phone, it's like, oh mate, you just dropped your phone.
The murderer would be like, hang on.
Back then, she's like,
Is it
whoa,
cracked?
alright then, Mr. Moneybag, where did you get this from?
Like one thing I did like about Matthew Lillard is that this is arguably one of his best roles. I would say.
100%.
I think he is fantastic.
What's his other one then? Go on.
13 Ghosts, obviously.
Shaggy?
Yeah.
Shaggy, you would
No,
think.
he's good at Shaggy, but I'd say the energy he brings into.
I think
yeah.
you must be
You're
zoinked
wrong
to
there.
say
Yeah, I
that.
was going to say, do you know he is now the main Shaggy? He even
Yeah.
voices him in the
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah, but I thought Scoob fallen into that, and that's why everyone hated Scoob.
Well, that's part
That's
of
not,
that's one of the
the
many
reason.
reasons.
That's not the reason why everyone hates Scoob. Everyone hates Scoob because Scoob is a terrible movie.
That is true.
And they shoehorn Hanna-Barbera characters in that don't need to be there.
I never
Yeah.
watched it, to be honest. I'm going to say this is poo-poo.
Get off our
Simon
movie
Cowell's-
podcast, Matt. Get out of here.
Simon Cowell's also in it. Anyway, right.
He is.
I've got one. Sorry, taking a drink. I've got one last question to ask about Scream 1.
Yes.
Hit me.
Do you think Stu's alive? Yes or no?
Yes.
There's right. That's the thing.
Honestly,
right?
no, but I want them to be.
I
Nah, that guy dead.
think,
Going-
I
going
think
with
he's.
Josh,
I
yeah.
think. I think he's dead. And if he's not, I think it's too late.
I
to
think
bring
their
him
little line in Scream 6 was like the TV that killed him, and they're like, if you think he's dead. I think that's their way of going, we know what you want.
back. Well, they talk about him in the 5th one, and
Yeah.
they say he's a serial killer. They don't say he was
Yeah,
a serial
That's the
killer.
thing, right? It's like in horror movies, they do that thing where if you're not seen to die, you don't die. They even like,
Made
you
his
can't-
head got crushed.
No, that's
Isn't
no,
it?
listen,
Isn't it
listen,
Halloween when they're like, if there's no, they just speak in general. There's no body.
Yeah,
then
that's
there's
the
Yeah,
thing.
no-
but they
yeah.
say like obviously, oh, you've got to double tap the killer because of in every Scream movie they come back,
Yeah.
and like obviously we're going to get into the rewrites of Scream 3. Stu was going to be the killer, but like
I think it's silly.
but I think it would be good. Like Scream 5 would have been the perfect movie to bring him back because you've got your legacy characters coming back, you've got
Yeah.
returning characters,
Yeah, and
you need
they-
a returning villain
And they're trying to rehash the
I
first
have-
one.
in his house as well.
I
do you know
have
what I mean?
a slight counter argument. Obviously, Billy was the mastermind. Stu was just brawn. Stu doesn't have the mindset to have a cult around him. He doesn't have that manipulative nature within him.
Yeah.
He's even said himself, he's just easily led astray. And I
Yeah.
can't see that guy starting a cult and manipulating all these different people. I just don't see it happening.
Counter to the
Yeah.
counter. What if it wasn't a cult? It's literally him just being Ghostface trying to get revenge.
No,
They
I
simplify
think-
it down to that.
I don't know. I think that'd make him a bit too dumb then.
Yeah.
He is done though. That's the thing.
No, I know, but like that's a bit like too dumb.
Overplaying it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I just...
Because like going off what you said, Josh. Sorry to cut you off.
That's fine.
Like he still obviously had some sort of initiative to follow through the plans. Like
Yeah.
obviously very clumsily, but like they were still some sort of
I know,
structure,
give it a
tactical.
Like, if anyone,
thinking.
Billy would be the one to start a Ghostface cult, which is what they were
Oh, yeah,
going to do. Which
100%.
is what they were going to do in Scream 3 with
Yeah.
with Stu
Yeah.
before the rewrites. But I just couldn't see Stu going in that direction. So part of me feels like maybe you just don't do it because you might not be able to give it justice.
I think it's
you
too
couldn't
late.
stick the landing.
Yeah, Frank.
There's a nice little transition now going from 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But Matthew Lillard had a cameo in Scream 2.
He did.
Oh yeah, he's in the party.
And
Isn't
he's
he?
in Scream 5
He's
as well.
his
yeah.
voice cameo as well.
Yeah.
All right, okay, Scream 2.
Scream 2.
No, I have too many good things to say about Scream 1.
Scream 2, many good things.
Scream
Scream 2,
Scream
Spurious.
one more good thing to say.
Go on, man.
I had to stretch it there. I think this movie, like the way it's shot, is weirdly stunning. Like I
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
No, I like it.
Like it captures the feel of like an isolated town. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Again, all the characters are very likable, and I also like the brutality, but also the wackiness of Ghostface in this
Yeah.
one. Like at a flip of a switch, right? So in one scene, for example, Tatum and Sydney are talking. Ghostface is looking at them. It pans over to him, and he just kind of like sneaks
Yeah.
off.
It's not like a static shot where you realise and go, oh fuck, there's somebody in the bushes. He
Yeah.
does the little Scooby-Doo run.
There was actually a fan theory. I think it's bollocks, to be honest with you. Obviously, we learned that Roman was kind of involved with the first movie. Obviously, it's retcon.
retcon.
Yeah, there's a theory that was Roman,
No, that's
Oh
good.
yeah.
and he's just there like.
I don't know because like, where was he at the end? Then did he just fuck off home?
Well, he even said that himself. He did just he fed them the information about Sydney's mother, and he fucked
Yeah.
off. But then why would he rock back up in the movie? Because Sydney's mother was killed a year before the
Yeah.
first movie.
So where did he find these two boys? Then?
But it was to do with Billy's dad. Obviously,
No, I know that. Like, but like, where did he find? Stu and
Basically,
Billy?
he knew that his mother was sleeping around,
With Billy's
and he
father.
knew then that like he could use that
That.
to his advantage.
Yeah.
And he tracked it back to one of the men, and then like, obviously Billy was angry and he used that. Then.
No, but where is this such information available in the 90s?
Well, he's a big director. He has the amount of money.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's a director. He directs.
Roman Bridger, director and brother.
She goes, who?
Going off what you said about the wacky thing. Obviously Wes Craven's, fucking biggest thing that everyone knows him for is Freddy Krueger, and Freddy Krueger was massive for Sash at the time. He was everywhere, and I think
pops up as a little cameo.
yeah, no, as Fred the
I know.
Janitor.
Yeah.
And I think Ghostface is like the Freddy of our time now, because Ghostface is everywhere. Even when Scream wasn't big, people have tattoos.
I have
John.
tattooed.
He's on merchandise. He's everywhere. That's what
You
I'm
know
trying to
what? Like I was thinking, as you're saying, that obviously a New Nightmare, where
Yeah.
this is like, oh, kids love they love Freddy. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Ghostface now.
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Kids going out in Ghostface masks.
Yeah,
Ev-
exactly.
like,
I was Ghostface when I was a kid, and I've never
Yeah.
even seen Scream at that point.
Exactly.
It's again, one thing I wouldn't say it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a thing. It takes away the scary element, knowing that this is just some little bloke getting the piss kicked out of him. He's flailing around.
I
He's
would
falling
argue
over.
I would argue it's the opposite, because if you know he's human, that's scarier.
It
Oh,
plays
no, like-
into the fact it could be anyone,
Yeah.
literally your brother,
Yeah, I'm not
your
thinking
girlfriend,
about-
your
I'm
boyfriend.
not thinking about the deep meaning. It's just as a watch, it's funny to just see this little man get battered.
You say
and it-
little, they're all like 7 foot tall.
yeah, but like it continues
Apart from
over.
that girl in Scream 5.
It continues over and over, and they just get tripping on everything, and people chucking.
But alright
shit
then,
at
I
them.
am happy. I'll go to Scream 2 now.
Alright, let's go to Scream 2.
Right,
So-
I think this one, as okay as it was, I think it suffered the most from rewrites, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's definitely suffering a little bit from a case of sequel like this, but I think it's the least worst of sequel like this, if you get me.
Like I think it suffers from the same problems as Scream 6, like we said. Both of them are rushed out in 11 months.
Yeah.
And again, Scream 2 is still pretty damn good, and because Wes is still there,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
same writer, the same team even.
Yeah.
Probably literally Scream came out and they instantly went on to this, I imagine,
Yeah.
instantly. But I don't know if I like the surrounding cast as much as I liked it in the first movie.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to replicate the tropes of the first cast. Obviously, like I said, you got the best friend, and obviously I can't remember her name. What was her name? Sydney's
Hallie?
best friend.
Hallie?
Hallie.
Yeah,
Hallie.
like obviously she was going to be revealed to be one of the ghost faces because of rewrites. She wasn't, but she is so pointless. She's there, and
Yeah,
like,
but that suffers from the rewrites as well, because the script got leaked.
Yeah.
She was going to be one of the killers.
Also,
I literally just said.
Oh, sorry,
I dug a bit deeper. Though.
It's been a long night,
I
okay?
dug a bit deeper, boys, actually. It turned out that a lot of the scripts that were leaked were actually fake.
fake ones as
Oh,
well.
really?
Yeah, it was just put out so people would go, oh my god!
Which one
Yeah.
is the real one? And which
I
one
love
is-
that clip of Wes Craven. He's like, "You little fuckers!" and
Yeah.
Fucking script. He's like, "Fuck you."
Oh.
And he was such a nice old man.
I
as
know,
well.
and he's just like, "Go fuck yourself,
Yeah.
you
But
bunch
then
of bastards."
One thing I will say about the killers is obviously you have Mrs. Loomis, who is like obviously not only is she Billy,
Yeah.
she's the family killer. So you have that
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
motive.
yeah.
And then Mickey is like Stu, where he's just the fucking
I
crazy
like
one.
that though. I like the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
that he's just like, "I really don't care. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get caught, and like I'm gonna."
And
be
I also
famous."
like the fact that Nancy was a better version of this killer's motive, and like she rocked up, and she wasn't nuts. She was like, "No, you fucked with my family, and I
Yeah.
literally just want to kill you."
I think people don't like it as much. I really like it, and I think that's mostly because of how well she's played.
And,
Yeah.
I
it
think
is,
she's
you're
a
right.
You don't
really
know.
good actress.
Even the reveal comes down to just fucking Sydney going Mrs. Loomis, and that's
and I love that she's like, "Well, plastic surgery and weight loss," and she's like, "You should try it because you look fucking terrible." She's like,
It's like,
"Well."
well, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have just been chased by a murderer for like 2 years.
She's
man.
like, "Don't matter, touch up your makeup, is it?"
But I do like how like literally you've got the brains and the I'm just crazy wacky funny killer.
Yeah.
Like, that was fun.
The same kind of parallels to
Yeah.
the first movie.
I thought it was a bit obvious he was a killer. He's playing him like a psychopath from the very
and he's
start.
barely there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's barely there.
He just turns up after like 45 minutes at the end. He's like, "I'm still in the film." with
Because
him."
when he does the reveal in the theatre, I was like, oh fuck, he's in this movie, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's better than Roman's reveal. And Sydney had, by the way, Sydney did not have a single scene with him in that film. Other
Really?
than that,
Oh my god.
Sydney was not in a scene with Roman during that movie.
And even just feel the family bond just bouncing off him.
The energy, the
Yeah,
love.
Yeah. Frank, Jordan, do you have anything to touch upon? Because obviously Josh and Matt as well. I personally don't have a lot to say about Scream 2. I think it just plays it very safe.
Yeah, it just exists. And
Yeah.
and it's just there.
I don't think it was necessary, but I think it's fine as it is.
Oh,
It's a
actually,
very
we didn't
okay
talk
Scream
about
Yeah.
the opening in Scream 2. Arguably the best opening. in
Oh
all of the
yeah,
Scream
one thing I
a lot
would
of
say-
symbolism in that.
Yeah.
That cold opening, I would say, is the only one where you don't have a character that is like, I don't say no, so Jada Pinkett Smith, and it was fucking what's his name?
I don't know his name.
Oh, I don't know.
People
I'm
in the
not gonna
comments
lie.
will tell us. Like they're known, but obviously it's outside of the main cast. Like obviously the first one, they're in school with Casey Becker. In Scream 6, it's their film teacher.
Yeah.
Scream 4,
Oh, it's just like they're just innocent.
they're just like
bystanders.
random people.
Yeah.
So, but like, then again, I think that goes to show that how far it stretches. Is it
Yeah.
will
No,
kill someone that you don't even know?
They were targeted. They
No,
were-
but I mean like from the main cast.
Why were they targeted? Was
They
it
were-
just the
they were-
spread?
They were targeted because I think the second movie, was it even the third one? Something to do with names.
Yeah.
They were using names that related to the original killings and so on and so on.
It's in the second one because they have the same names as people.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it is.
That is so
So
stupid.
that's why they were targeted.
That is
And they
so
were given the
stupid.
tickets. Originally, Timothy Oliphant was actually meant to be in the queue going into the cinema.
Oh,
So
I've heard that.
So that could be your little way of being like, ooh. But yeah, I think it's meant to be a commentary, obviously, that like we are so numb to things that we just
Yeah.
don't react
Okay,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that she's literally in front of them and they're
And it
cheering.
takes them a second to go, oh.
Yeah.
Oh
Tronk.
shit.
I like as well, Jada Pinkett, she actually asked
Stab me.
she asked Wes Craven to give her the most brutal on-screen death that he possibly could.
Fucking
Really?
hell.
And he was like, you know what? You got it.
Chris Rock is looking back in hindsight like, that was a
So
good
one
scene.
could say she had an entanglement with that knife.
I really wish. Jordan, is there anything you'd like to add on?
Not really. It's just like very like safe. It's just a Scream film, isn't it?
There's not a lot to say,
But
really.
it's on the positive side though as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Like,
it's above average.
yeah.
It's fine.
It gets a B+ from Jordan, is I think what he's
yeah.
trying
One
to say.
is to scream.
One thing I forgot to go back to go very quickly back to Scream 1. My little bit about names is obviously I think we all know that Billy Loomis is Dr. Harold Loomis from
Yeah.
Michael!
I was gonna blackest eyes I've ever seen. I would have asked about that. What is with Halloween and Scream just making love to each other all
Wes
the
Craven's a
time?
big fan of John Carpenter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they've worked,
Easter eggs in each
together on
films.
stuff as well.
Oh, okay.
Scream 3, I was going to say when we start, I feel like some of you may share an opinion on this one.
Yeah.
Share the same opinion as me, even. I didn't really used to like this one very much at all.
Yeah, I never really.
But
Neither did
I
I.
feel like...
Until I rewatched.
Yeah, same.
like it a
I
lot
kind
more.
of think the humour works quite well in
Yeah,
this.
I
Oh, sorry,
think
on
he
Scream
was
3,
quite
did you say? Was it?
Yeah, Scream
Right,
3.
now I got one thing. I was going through my notes. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, man.
On
it's
Scream
fine.
2, Randy being killed in daylight. Was that the first time in a Scream movie someone was killed
Yeah.
in daylight?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, actually, no, they're what's his name? The Fonz in the first movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He was killed
yeah.
in daylight.
Oh no, that's his real name in real life. Henry Winkler. Henry Winkley.
Yeah, 'cause I was going to
Headmaster
say
Winkler.
it was and obviously kill a legacy character with Randy. So
I was going to say, one thing I've just thought of right now is Scream 2. It takes place at the university, and the final like battle ending thing.
In the theatre.
Yeah, it's in the theatre. And then Scream 6, it takes place in the university, and the final
Well,
thing is on stage.
it's okay, right, okay, because Mindy brought it up, and that makes it okay.
I fucking hate Mindy so much.
So
Um,
fucking...
Yeah.
So-
all
Anyway,
my-
guys,
all my
Scream
hate
3.
Mindy.
3.
I think the humour works, as Josh.
I just want to
said.
say one thing, actually.
Yeah, no, I
The
was just
soundtrack
rambling.
for the original trilogy fucking slaps.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
Well, we've got Red Right Hand in all these movies, apart from Scream 4 because copyright. Go fuck yourself.
I'm sure it is in Scream 4,
No,
isn't
it's
it?
not.
No, it's
Is it
not.
the only
It's the
one?
only
Only
one.
one.
Oh my god.
Just adds to it being a
Imagine
bad
being that
film.
selfish.
Well, it was in Scream 6 twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
I think Red Right Hand works for the main reason that Ghostface killing someone with a knife, with his hand, blood, also doing knife wipe.
It's like
blood.
poetry, it rhymes.
It is.
Matt, you should be a film professor.
I should.
Just don't go down any dark alleys.
Or Flash Thompson's in the middle of the street.
The worst casting ever.
You know,
sorry.
we were having a laugh earlier saying that like we could take Ghostface, most of the Ghostfaces, and if like I would fuck him up.
Oh yeah, easily.
I think most
I
people
don't
would
think-
actually
I don't mean
destroy
specifically,
Ghostface
yeah.
3.
You know what? I don't reckon I'd be able to take Billy because he's a bit nuts. Steve's a lug of a man.
He's probably hard because he's tall, but like you could trip him up.
I could definitely
banana
take.
peel.
I could take Nancy Loomis
Well.
in a fight.
Yeah.
I could take Nancy Loomis in a bare
Oh,
knuckle
yeah. She
fight
got
in the
done-
field.
she got done in by stage props.
Oh, foam stage props.
Yeah.
Probably
I-
not Mickey. What was his name?
Mickey L.T. Reid.
Yeah, Timothy Oliphant, because he got like 8 shots to the face.
And
And
he
he just
just
got
get
up.
up.
And he backflipped into the wall as an
Like,
Aldi got
hello,
shot.
I'm actually on bath salts.
Yeah.
I could take Charlie. I could take Charlie.
Any
Oh
of the
yeah,
tries of
yeah,
men.
yeah.
Definitely.
Swinging by his hair.
Yeah.
Like, your brother's was
I
successful,
do have a lot of notes on Scream 3 because obviously it's the recent one
Right,
one
you-
I watched recently.
Shoot off, man.
Go on,
Because
Matthew.
I've got a lot to say.
Obviously-
Right, Matthew.
I do like how we get Cotton Weary, because like Seven can say his name, I can't.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, he pops up as like a
Schreiber.
throwaway character in the first one,
Yeah.
and it's nice to see him actually have a role in the second one.
Yeah.
And then in the third one, obviously that's just
It's fucking lit.
his cold open is going back to it's a character that is known by the main
The
cast.
fourth survivor.
Yeah.
Again.
And he's like done. It closes his story
Cool.
off in an easy way, and obviously it
Yeah.
wraps up quite nicely. And obviously you goes back to Diane Sawyer, as you know how big she was, because Gail name drops in, I could be the next Diane Sawyer, when I think at the time, he was like, oh, I'm going to do some Diane Sawyer interviews, and I'm like, who's she?
I was like, wait a minute, I did some research.
He pauses it.
Also, right, I know Roman. Okay, you know what? Actually, no, I'm going to go there. Roman is just a very generic bloke, yeah.
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 Liev Schreiber is like 6'3"
Yeah,
and huge.
I don't get
And he throws him about quite a bit.
all
as
those
well.
muscles just didn't work.
And again, like I said earlier, like I suppose it's when you're Ghostface, you are that character, then, aren't you? But like,
Yeah.
really though?
I don't get. It's the same with that boyfriend in Scream 6. That was a large man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they were all like, yeah, and those three ghost faces were just small. You
Yeah.
just picked him up and just squeezed him,
Yeah.
and all the guts just coming out of the
But
mask.
speaking on Roman, he does the whole you need to stop saying movies are violent. Movies aren't violent, and there's that trope coming up again. And
Yeah,
he is
yeah,
the
yeah.
one who is like,
Yeah.
I'm
You know
so
what
It's
I
like you were
violent.
literally trying to make a
Do you
horror
know what
film,
I
you dumb bastard.
Really liked the effort of the effort they made in Scream 3.
They put
Even-
Lance Henriksen in, and we all like Lance Henriksen.
Like,
Rest in
yes,
peace.
that's cool, but
Rest in
listen
peace.
to this one.
He's dead.
Oh, this sounds Reddick, sorry.
Yeah,
What an idiot I am. Been a
Is
long night.
the commentary about Hollywood being, well, we know what happens in Hollywood, don't we?
Yeah.
I was
we
going to
know-
say I had a note that we're not going to touch that Weinstein stuff.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna,
what you just did.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because they deserve to be outdid.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, you're right.
And you know the funny thing, though, right? They made these movies.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
So, like, did they know?
Obviously,
Did
yeah.
they care?
I think
know.
in
Are
their
they
mind,
that ignorant?
yeah, maybe they were. Genuinely.
I feel like they either knew and they didn't care.
Best to fuck all that
And
Weinstein
all-
shit off. That's a note I had, because on the credits roll I saw it, and that was the last thing on Scream 3. I was like, yeah, no, we're not, fuck that.
Well, there has to be talked about.
No, I mean,
though.
I was,
Yeah.
I was going to say talk about it in Scream, but not give any more time than those pricks deserve.
You know what? I agree with that. But it obviously, like I said, it comes down to the fact, obviously, all of this shit happened because of the directors in Scream 3.
Yeah.
You know,
Because they've been fucking about from the start.
Yeah.
Since the start.
They've been naughty boys.
Yeah.
exactly. And the Lance Hendrickson character,
Yeah.
obviously, he did horrible things to Sydney's mother.
Yeah.
In turn, fucking her up later in life.
Yeah.
In
Led
turn,
to
yeah,
everything.
leading into everything.
Yeah, so it stems from him, really.
All his fault.
Yeah.
Selfish, isn't it?
I can't remember his name, or the character's name.
No, neither can I.
No, I can't. No, he's dead, don't he?
The thing is, when
Probably.
Lance Hendrickson's one of those characters that when you see him on screen, you're like, oh, it's just Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah. He's been in so many movies and done so many voices.
Is
Yeah.
it The Rock?
He was
But good.
John
Yeah.
Milton.
There we go, John Milton. But I think, yeah, that's the most politically charged thing we have to say. It's not very controversial. I think everybody agrees that,
Exactly.
you know, they're horrible people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I'm glad that Wes Craven had the cojones
no,
to put it in his
yeah,
movie.
Yeah. And I think by the time I was in like Scream 4, they were, or was it 5,
Because
they were bankrupt.
And,
And they were like, fuck you, we'll keep making these without
And
you. You had nothing to do with it.
2001 this one came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
And even then, you just come out of the 90s, this was something that was completely shunned in Hollywood. No one spoke
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, only the last couple of years, really. Like,
Yeah.
it's been public knowledge,
Last
I'd
5,
say.
6 years.
Yeah.
So let's just commend Wes Craven for going for it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sticking to his guns.
Yeah.
Well done, Wes. Good man. Brothers are.
Yeah.
Now going back to Roman,
Yeah.
quickly, he is Sydney's brother.
You didn't say it properly, Matt. It's Roman Bridger.
Roman Bridger.
He's a director.
Brother. Yeah, he obviously there's me going on about that family motive again, because not only does it go back to Maureen Prescott, it directly relates to Sydney as his brother.
Right, what do you all think about that?
What, the brother thing?
Yeah, that you just turned to the door and she went, no.
I think it's...
Understandable, because obviously she had a really traumatic experience in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
but like,
Obviously,
would she be that heartless? I mean, we don't know
we
her,
don't know,
granted.
yeah.
Yeah, we never really met her. We met
Yeah.
Ghost. We met Ghost Maureen.
That
Which
was-
I think I got a note on that. It was fucking
Sydney.
stupid, and we didn't need it.
No, but then they did again with Billy anyway, so...
Ghost bit was stupid, but then again, Ghost face maybe.
No, that
No,
is silly.
Scream is not a supernatural
so
series.
incredible.
No, it's not.
And the moment that it goes,
Well,
that is
it,
officially
it
done.
looks like it's going that way.
Yeah, I reckon
This
the
guy's
joke...
got like teleported and everything, man.
And they're invincible. They get battered, they go, I just get up. So I'm out.
I don't even
I didn't hear no bell.
It doesn't mean a flesh wound.
Yeah.
And obviously Roman has what's the name? Candy, is it? Yeah. When Candy says, I get a new script every 15 seconds, I think we can all say that's to do with
Yeah,
the rewrite.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
It's another rewrite. What the fuck, man?
And I would say that scene also basically... I know there's a voice changer element, but I'd say that scene bit just tells you that it's
I
not
think the voice changer in this film is stupid.
It's too accurate.
It's a
and
bit
how-
much.
Yeah.
That technology did not exist back
It
then.
doesn't exist now.
Just about
And I-
AI.
Yeah.
I
But
would
like, it
say,
wouldn't be of just standard people. It's
Yeah.
something like characters
I
and
would say
celebrities.
Roger L. Jackson's voice sounds different in this movie.
Really?
I obviously know there's a voice changer,
Yeah,
but like I just felt like I don't know, there was something off about it,
yeah.
and I don't know if that is just me or
Maybe he just
Okay,
really
but-
couldn't be asked.
Incredible.
He got
I
up to
was-
work that day and just couldn't be asked.
Yeah, probably he was like a third one. Not another one. I will say the sixth one was the best that he has
Oh,
ever been.
He is
The
on a
best
roll.
usage of him. He is great.
And his voice is so crisp now. as
Yeah.
well.
No wonder people find it a bit sexy.
I don't know if I said it, guys, but he was like, recording his lines with his wife at one point for the newest movie or even the last one, and he was saying these vicious things about how he's going to murder these people, and his wife's just sitting there like eating and knitting, and they're just chilling, and they made a joke. He turned around to her and was like, "We have a good relationship, don't we?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Oh, that's lovely.
I think it's weird how like at this point he still hadn't met the main cast. For the first one, I get it because you don't know who it is, what they're
Yeah,
gonna look
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then you can then get in the mindset of who is behind this mask.
Yeah.
Come on, let the man take him out for food or something. Jesus.
Maybe he doesn't want to because
Oh.
some people like that for their character.
Actually, in the original movie when they were working out the voice of Ghostface, they actually originally wanted spooky, scary voice.
Oh, well, like a.
Hello, I'm a ghoul. But they asked him to do it, and he was like, I think it needs to be kind of like a
Normal.
like a
human.
scorned lover.
Human,
Exactly.
exactly.
He was
Yeah.
like, I want it to be somewhat like sexy as well.
Yeah.
And it kind of does talk like that.
Well, a
doesn't
lot
it?
of people say that they see Ghostface as like a weird horror sex symbol.
Ah, well,
I don't.
I think it's the voice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is definitely the voice, and I think people like the mask.
He's packing cake. That's not me.
Maybe.
That's the internet.
Maybe under all those robes, who knows?
I did about the voice. I did like how obviously there's a female voice, and that could make you think maybe there's another female killer again. But obviously then comes.
There
down
was
to-
going to be originally
Yeah.
before the
and
rewrites.
it comes down to the voice changer. But what I do like is how Scream 3, I would say, is the parallel of Scream 6, and
Yeah.
they're the ones that change up the formula. Where you've got one killer in this one, then you've got 3 in the 6th one.
Yeah,
So that was interesting, but again,
yeah.
minuscule, probably accidental at this point.
Well,
No.
there were supposed to be 3 killers in the third one.
3 there.
If the final scene was when they were leaving the wherever the fuck they were, there was going to be a scream just in the distance, looking down at them.
That's Scream 2.
Scream 2.
That's
Yeah.
the
The ending,
marker.
the ending to Scream 2. You know the shot of the bell tower
Oh yeah.
at
that's
the
what
end
I
where
got
Sydney's
confused,
walking away. He's meant to be watching from there.
I'm the urban defender, watching the streets.
That's me.
Killing him.
I also like how Kronk is in it. You know, Patrick
Patrick
Warburton.
Warburton.
Another massive unit of a man.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you're on about Lee
What kind of
Schreiber.
steroids is Roman on?
He's on
The
Hollywood bath salts,
adrenaline of
isn't he?
murdering people is the rush.
He's
He's
huge.
their
Inhuman.
human bodyguard, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
don't say-
I'm kind of glad he
Hey,
died. Actually,
Dewberry.
I'm kind of glad he died because he blatantly was horrible to Dewey.
Yeah.
He literally said something along the lines of, "What did he say?"
Like I bodyguard like Sharon, not Sharon Stone, like Julia Roberts or something.
No, he was like looking at Tatum's ashes in Dewey's trailer, and he says a line like, "Oh, it's a dead sister boy,"
Oh my god.
and then he finds out that actually it's not Dewey on the phone, it's
Ghostface.
Roman Bridger,
Oh,
director, and he comes in and directs the knife right into his spine.
And sends it home with a painting or whatever on the back. And he's walking out.
I also love how goofy this one is, and I know we said the first one was goofy, but this one is on another level.
This one's a
They
little
go,
bit silly.
they
yeah.
go back into the house, and the gas is there. He's like, "Wait a minute, I don't know what's going on. I need to know what it says." And he's like, "Oh, he who smells the gas." And, he just
No,
goes,
that was dumb. Why would you go back in? I need to know, but you don't though. You're outside. Fuck off. Is it?
and what if he didn't use a lighter?
Yeah, why was it a lighter all of a sudden?
Maybe
like-
he would have snuck back in and just chucked the lighter in if
Yeah.
no one did it.
Imagine if he was modern, he'd just be falling out. Like, he who smells the gas. Yeah, who's left the stove on? I'm not being funny. We can afford this.
Come on, guys, we got the cost of living crisis.
I liked the shake-up of technically having 2 Gales. Because
Yes,
obviously the lady
I like
Oh
that.
yeah.
the fact that she played Gale and was also like acting a
Yeah,
bit like
because
Gale.
you see
Yeah, of
towards the
course.
end, they're like running next to each other, doing everything together. And I thought if she had stayed alive, she would have been a good character to like have like a throwaway character in the next movie where you see her, you talk to her on the phone, but she's not really there.
I was very upset actually. I quite like. She's probably one of the most liked side characters of the entire franchise.
Really?
I thought she was very cool. Everybody else just
Throwaway.
throwaway in Scream 3.
But there's a lot of
There's a lot to laugh at though.
There's a lot of
So they're not
ambiguity.
banned.
Because obviously you've got the voice changer that makes you think it could be a woman. Obviously, fake Sydney is in the bathroom with a mask that she has on her.
Yeah.
You also have
She was meant to be the killer in the
Yeah.
original right of the movie.
Oh.
you have, is it Patrick Dempsey? Was that his name? Kincaid.
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey. Yeah.
Obviously, he starts like going, "Oh, Dewey, can I borrow your phone?" And then all of a sudden he knows where Sydney is, and obviously he becomes a bit of a love interest. So there's a lot of red herrings.
There's a lot of repeated tropes in there. That's why they always bring them back.
The
up.
original right of the story is not good.
Really?
So
Oh,
like I
then the
said-
Stu Marker cult.
No, this is another one again.
Oh, Jesus.
So basically, Roman and that Sydney lady, when he was playing Sydney in Stab, they were
Angelina,
working
got her name.
together. It
Yeah.
would turn out that they are half siblings.
Oh, you wanted to have an incest
Yeah,
idea,
the
didn't he?
incest. The little incest cult to the sister.
Why is that then?
I'm
It's
glad-
Halloween again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got the horn.
I'm glad that was just cut.
The cult of horror.
It would be terrible.
I liked how the toilet scene though is like a bit of a callback to Scream 1.
Yeah.
She looks under and she sees the legs and she's
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
we're not doing this time. Ghostface runs out.
Yeah, I like that Sydney is.
With this, she's too
yeah.
old for this shit.
Yeah, she's doing it.
Carl Weathers.
No,
Not
Carl
Carl
Weathers.
Weathers.
Danny Glover. Racist. I like that she's. I like that she's experienced, and she's like, I'm not gonna get fucked about again. I'm gonna do you in.
It's literally when he's doing his monologue, she's
Yeah.
like, "Stop crying for 5 minutes." She's like, "Do you think you haven't? You think you've been through shit? Look at the shit I've been
She's
through,
like, this is the third time.
and you caused this."
I do. There's I think a lot of it might go over your head. Obviously, going in not knowing that Roman is Ghostface, but you can kind of sort of put it together because he's like, I'm nearly 30. It's my birthday, and they go, oh, 28 years ago, Maureen disappeared for 2 years. So I feel like it might be on the nose to be like it's right in front of you. But obviously, with that knowledge, you might.
I don't
be
think it
able to
was.
piece
I think it was
together.
bollocks. I think it was thrown together last minute. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
One thing that made me laugh, actually, was who's Kincaid's partner, the other police
The
officer.
weird one. I know you're.
Oh,
on,
his line delivery fucking kills me. The two lines that
And the
I
way he like
remember.
slunk about like this all the time.
The two lines I remember was he was like, "Yo, man, can you tell me anything about the crime that was committed?" He's like, "Do you reckon it was connected?" He's like, "He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed."
Yeah,
And then when they arrest Roman, like before the end, then they walk up to him and he's like, "Right, Roman, this is the scene where you come with
Come
us."
with us, yeah.
Sorry, Frank, you were about to say something. I cut you off. I do apologise.
I was just going to say, there's only one thing that it's not so much the movie itself, it's how they went through with it. They used a lot less blood. Like, there's a lot
There's
less
a
going on.
reason why
Oh,
there was a lot
yes,
less brutality
yes.
in this movie compared to the others, and violence. Columbine had just happened,
Yeah.
and that's
They
why
had to
a
tone
lot
it
of the
down,
rewrites
yeah.
happened. They were scared that teenagers would emulate it with knives and so
But
on.
that's interesting to me because that's the whole point of Scream 1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking actually.
That's really
Yeah, you
stupid.
don't emulate the movie.
Yeah.
You're a psycho anyway that just
Yeah.
happens to do
That is
something.
a missed opportunity.
They were kind of nuked.
Yeah.
Very different times as well, if you think, from the time of Scream 3 and then Scream 1.
Yeah.
There's like, obviously,
That was
a
before.
lot of big changes
I was
happening,
gonna say it was-
especially in America.
Yeah, I was going to say
Obviously,
it was before
like-
September the 11th.
But I would say,
9/11,
Yeah.
with what
Every
Scream
place.
3 was given, the material it had left to work with, it still did a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And you were right, Jordan, actually. And if you notice, a lot of American media for a while, I'd say in the last couple of 10 years, changed a lot. They were terrified, and obviously America's like a big source of all media, so like,
Very
Yeah,
big culture shock to them, and
yeah.
therefore the rest of the world.
Yeah,
to
they
their
didn't know how to
influence
cope
on the
with
rest of
that.
the world.
They
So they
Yeah.
kind of
Still
just, so they kind of just
Yeah.
shunned it out completely.
they were like, it's best to
But
just
the thing
hide
is,
it.
if
Blissful
you-
ignorance.
Yeah,
Thing
yeah.
is, if you don't learn from something, obviously, people are doomed to repeat
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
need to, obviously, exceptions are there, but you need to make mistakes in order to know it's a mistake
Yeah.
and why you don't make a
You
mistake
need
again.
media to address stuff because
Sometimes you
Yeah.
can't do it talking
Yeah.
to each other.
and like South Park did something about just after September the 11th, and they just spent the whole episode making fun of Osama bin Laden. And like, I was watching Doug Walker's episode, review on that episode, and he said like, if you're gonna address something, address it. Don't
Yeah,
tiptoe around it.
sometimes
They
you
do.
need the coverage.
Yeah.
It's why movies and theatre exist. The Greeks used it as,
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
form of expression for
Yeah.
political outcry and things like that.
Yeah.
So you know what, they didn't go there, but you know what, maybe they wanted to, but they just couldn't do it.
And I reckon in an ideal world they would have.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking more about film, but talking deeper about film than the fucking film Jess Stevens in this fucking franchise.
What I would like to hear your thoughts on Jamie Kennedy coming back as Randy for that little video. What do we think of that?
Oh yeah,
I
guess it makes sense for his character.
He
But
does the rules, doesn't he?
yeah.
Obviously, you notice now that obviously Randy's sister was in this one, and they cast the same lady in
got that
the
beer as
fifth
well,
one, who was the
Yeah.
parents of the
Yeah.
fucking twins.
It's nice that they kept the continuity of the same actress. To be fair, that was good.
Yeah.
Nice little things. Obviously, like Sydney's married to Mark, a nice bit of continuity, and obviously Mark
Yeah.
appeared in this movie originally.
But I like how he came back to do the rules, and he even says like, it's done in case I don't survive because we're going through it again.
I feel
But
like
I don't. Where would he have had the time between Scream 1 and Scream 2?
I feel
to
like
do that?
again.
well,
at
he
the
took 15 minutes to his roommate.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
it?
the fact it's a video shows how much of an afterthought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did we need that to happen? Like, we're smart enough to know that at the end
The
of a
rules, like,
trilogy.
yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
I thought it was funny. I'm sorry when he said something and what's his face is like he got the answers to it already. I thought that was funny.
I haven't got much of a problem with it. I just think it's a bit unnecessary. But like, I'm taking or leave it. You know what I mean?
Right, before we move on to Scream 4, because I think we've done a lot on
I
Scream
got
4.
a lot more.
Go for it.
Right. I thought the Carrie Fisher joke was funny. I thought
Yeah,
that was funny.
yeah. No, that is funny. Yeah,
As pointless as it was funny.
yeah.
You right there?
Would you like to shut up, sir?
There's,
I'm
again,
all good.
it's a lot of stuff that we've already touched on. Like obviously,
Well-
there's like
I'm being poisoned by Matt's words.
there's like just suspicion on a lot of characters who just normal things. Like they're not trying to throw shade on one more than the other. It's just all sort of there.
I feel like that was down to lack of writing, though.
Sydney was also still wearing her Greek letters from Derek, if you noticed.
Yeah, I did notice.
Which was
She's
a bit-
not wearing it by the fourth
I
one.
was thinking it was a bit fucking weird why she was wearing them, but
Because her boyfriend was murdered and she
yeah,
loved
but she
him.
didn't really know him, would she?
She didn't know him.
He was just kind of
They
there.
were together for like this is like a year.
Yeah, it's a year. So she would have been there for a year.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend was murdered.
Nowadays.
The least,
No, but like
the least she can do is wear his necklace.
no, I get that, but I felt like I'm saying there was. I
You,
felt
so
like
you're
no.
saying if your girlfriend got murdered, you wouldn't wear her necklace?
No,
Well,
he
I-
wouldn't.
Don't think she wears a necklace. Well, she does, but it's a really ugly fucking. I hate
So
it.
no,
Oh,
you
right,
wouldn't.
alright, let's
Right.
move on
No,
to Scream
yeah,
4.
anyway, so
This is getting a bit silly.
Yeah, so they like the bit, I thought the bit where they give Sid a gun just for him to throw it away. Well, I thought that was stupid. It was unnecessary.
No, it's not
Why
unnecessary.
would Ghostface leave a metal detector out for her?
Because he knew that she'd have a gun.
Why he wouldn't? Because
Depends.
realistically, she wouldn't have had a gun if she wasn't fucking looking through his drawers.
This is America.
That is a good point.
Don't catch you slipping up.
Not only that though, but in the second one, she uses a gun to kill them.
And in the first movie.
first
Yeah,
one.
and the
And in
first
every
one.
other movie.
Right, okay, right. I'm going to officially just say, let's move on to Scream 4.
Okay, go for
Because
it.
we've got a lot
Right.
more to cover
I'm
anyway.
going to be honest.
Whoa.
This is going to be. I'm going to be completely honest. This is probably my least favourite in the franchise.
No, that's facts.
It's the least favourite out of all of them.
This
made
is
the
my least favourite
amount
of
money.
the originals.
And this is very surface level, but I'm going to be outright with it. Right?
Yeah.
I hate the way this film looks. I
No, I don't like it either.
hate
It
it.
takes away from Scream. It takes away from the
It
atmosphere.
just looks like someone's slapped a bit of Vaseline on their thumb
Yeah,
and just
Vaseline,
rubbed it
yeah.
all over the lens.
Because going back to the first one, it's very personal. It's very real looking. You feel like you're there. It's very, like you said,
Found
isolated, secluded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scream 4 just looks like, well, it just looks like all the horror remakes of the time.
That's what I want
It
to
looks like the
comment
Nightmare
on.
on Elm Street
I
reboot.
feel like
Very
it
dated.
suffers.
Yeah.
It suffers from the fact that obviously the original had original films to go on from. Scream 4 has got the fucking sequels and reboots to go on from. So
Yeah.
obviously, if it's going to emulate those, it's going to be lackluster in comparison because the source material it's poking fun at is lackluster.
Right, I want to say first though, it's my least favourite. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad movie.
I think it's bad.
I have gripes with certain things. It may look a bit nitpicky, like I said, the way it looks.
Yeah.
I think Jill and Charlie aren't very. Their motive is good, but I don't think they are very strong characters to be killers.
No, they're not. I think they are the beginning of the end of good motive. Not good motive, but good
Well,
acted.
to be
like,
honest,
good villains.
to be
of the
honest though,
franchise.
I'm gonna counter argue that a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
not really counter argument, sorry, but like
Go for it.
Wes Craven has his finger so hard on the pulse. It's like he knew that within 10 years, kids would do anything to be famous.
No, yeah, it's very ahead of his time.
So like, I really like their motive. I just don't like them.
Yeah,
The one-
no, I agree.
The
I
one
agree.
thing I did like is me saying my repeating family motif. It's her cousin. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
Cindy's
yeah,
cousin.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's always it's bringing it back to that again, which obviously It's a fucking pretty big stretch, but at least they're trying
Jill
to
is
be consistent.
fucking nuts.
She's annoying.
We know she's nuts because she battered Evan Peters.
Did you know
Topical.
that Emma Roberts didn't actually? Is it Emma Roberts or Emma Roberts? Roberts,
Yeah, Emma
isn't it?
Roberts, I think it
She
is, yeah.
didn't. She doesn't. Apparently, back in the day, she didn't read script when they were given to her.
Didn't realise she was that much of a big deal.
Oh yeah, because she's Julia Roberts' niece.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, sorry, but what have you been in?
Jail after
She
beating up Evan Peters.
She wasn't even an American Horror Story yet, and that was like the big thing she was in.
Oh my god.
That's also
We can get a picture of Julia Roberts in a thong, so we can get a picture of this weirdo.
One thing I did like though is they've got the continuity. They've got the reporter. I can't remember right. Nancy, the reporter. She's interviewing Tori Spelling in Scream 2 from Stab. Nancy O'Dell, think of it. She's also interviewing Cotton Weary. So it's the same reporter that they've kept throughout the franchise.
Nice bit of
as
canon, I
herself.
suppose, yeah.
She's playing herself, yeah, which I thought was quite cool. And Gale and Dewey being together at the start of the movie, I thought that was nice. Even though it is after their real life.
I thought the end of them trying to get hitched was very, very cute.
Oh, the end of the third one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was adorable.
Yeah,
The,
that was
the
very
boy
sweet.
opening,
Yeah.
oh, that was
That
adorable.
was very, very
And I love
sweet.
the fact that in this one, they're still trying to work through their issues, because when you love someone, you do.
That's what you
that's
do,
the
Yeah,
thing.
of course, yeah.
And
You do we.
I kind of like the fact that Gail is struggling with writer's block, and obviously Sydney's just kind of like.
Hello.
bloop, 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 bloop.
She's
They-
getting the success
Yeah,
naturally. that
They,
she
they
didn't
have
want.
both flipped from the last movie, like you said, the other one
Yeah.
didn't want in the first place. Also, like the parallels, kind of like newer one, how Tara said to Gail, like, you'd be nothing without Ghostface,
Yeah.
and it kind of proves a point in a
Yeah.
way, because in this
Yeah.
movie, she has writer's block. Why? Because there have been many
No,
murders in like a
Ghostface.
decade.
Yeah,
In the first one,
exactly.
she was I think she was nothing. She was just another reporter.
Yeah, yeah,
Like-
exactly.
She
Gail Weathers, reporter.
Well, that's the thing I'm going to touch on. But
Report.
obviously, it's canon that Sidney Prescott basically says to the Stab people, "Don't make any more movies about me because I'm going to sue you for my likeness or whatever." So they don't, and that's why the Stab movies lose the plot, because when Hollywood runs out of an idea for a movie. Like, look at fucking Jason, like, they send him to space, you know what I mean? They just keep making content to keep the name,
Yeah.
and it ends up being puppy poo.
How dare you
and-
insult Jason?
They
X?
killed
No,
him off
it's a good
3.
movie, but like, if you look at, if you've gone to space,
No, I know.
the
Chris
source
X is not a
material.
good
I know what you're trying to say. It's jumping the
Yeah.
shark, isn't it?
It's jumping by fuck. He's doing backflips in the air. And like, so I think it's good how they're even like between movies they're trying to keep
Yeah.
like the in-universe continuity
Even
together.
though like Scream hasn't really jumped the shark and it's keeping its continuity quite firm in the ground. Actually, no. Roman, as a matter of fact,
It's so
was a massive retcon.
Yeah, that was a massive retcon, and they did. Yeah, they kept the continuity. They're just diving into the ground. They're just being driven like a tent peg, just further
You know what?
into
Actually,
shit.
no. I'm wrong. I'm gonna put my hands in the air and say I'm wrong because again, fucking Sam being Billy's daughter.
Yeah, okay.
They obviously saw that episode of Riverdale and go, "I got them serial killer gene." Oh no! Oh.
That is very stupid.
Shut.
Yeah, that's not something.
One would say it's hereditary.
It can. So on
There's a
that
reference
topic
of
specifically,
method. Yes.
it definitely can be. Like, they're not like entirely wrong. It can definitely become like passed down.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the way that they're portraying
Yeah,
it.
they're
though.
trying to like
Yeah.
glorify it in a way.
It's like
Yeah.
it's always been in there, but like, was it always in Billy?
It's overdone. Yeah.
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 She doesn't have that dog in her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like Billy
exactly.
just came onto the mirror and said that.
Billy
You
comes
gotta-
just bang.
You've got a dog in you.
One
He
thing
wouldn't kill anyone. would he?
one
Pussy.
one continuity I did like is Deputy Hicks says to Judy, "Oh, we were in Peter Pan together." Not Judy, sorry. That is Deputy Hicks. Judy. She goes, "We were in Peter Pan together" to Sydney,
Yeah.
and that calls back to Sydney in Scream 2 where she's in theatre. So
Yeah.
they go, "Oh, you're still doing
Also, I know it's a red herring in that situation because everyone could be anyone in Scream. Oh, did they shoot Judy Hicks so ominous in that
that." In
scene?
the shadow, yeah.
She might as well as be doing the fucking Kubrick stare, looking at her.
Speaking of Hicks, she was also named after Michael Bean's Dwayne Hicks in Aliens. So that's
Oh,
another
I
name.
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
That's
Matt. Well
another
done.
name for you that they've segued in.
Yeah.
In a horror
Jammed
movie.
in.
Oh, by the way, Hicks, your lemon squares taste like ass.
Yeah, I hate her. Leave Timmy alone.
Yeah,
Exactly, man.
exactly. And it's not just like a little bit of food, and she's blatantly there, like, it's not cheating on your wife if you eat my lemon
Yeah.
squares. He's like,
No. I want to
Like we
say.
did nothing of yours.
I want to, obviously Dylan Minnette that plays her son, Wes, named after Wes Craven. Another
Yeah,
name, checking that in there.
obviously, yeah.
He's like, surely he's alive at this point. She's
yeah,
had him by this
of course
point.
he is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she's go. I
He
have
is-
fair on the child's father, maybe.
Well, maybe she's single. Maybe she's single.
Strong single mum.
Yeah, exactly.
But you just ruined it now.
Strong-
You have to say strong.
Strong female lead.
Put the
Strong
script down.
female
Yeah.
lead.
Put the script down on that one.
You know, they might hire you to write the next one.
I also want to say
Think
that
they could get worse.
I like the inclusion of Anthony Anderson as the police officer because he's in Scary Movie.
Is he
Yeah.
a funny
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Is he a
Yeah.
funny fella?
He's
Yeah.
one
When he
that
gets
gets
stabbed
stabbed
in
In
the
the
head,
head, yeah, he's
yeah.
just punching, yeah.
And he's just walking about like, oh.
But can we say that they say something very weird in that car?
Yeah.
Like she can live next door
Yeah,
to
he's
me
like
if
a
she
school
wants.
child.
Yeah.
And they're talking about like a 17-year-old.
Yeah,
What's going
so
on
she
with
should be
that
doing
then?
homework.
It's commentary on how fucked the police actually are.
Maybe.
But
No, it's
and,
not.
and
No.
yeah,
It's edgy commentary.
Yeah.
apparently, and like,
Meta.
and like I said, the nerds in the comments will correct me if I'm wrong. Anthony Anderson doing his flailing death punches to basically to say that the brain is like still active after like whatever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like it wasn't done for a funny. It was
Yeah, but
done
if
for,
that's the case, then when you get shot in the face, why did they just fall over instantly?
Because
No.
your brain's been obliterated
Yeah.
rather than just being poked.
Is it just being poked though?
Well,
Like it's
no.
think about how hard this had to be going to go through his skull in the first place.
Yeah, how hard is that knife going through his skull then?
Well, what was it then? Was it Jill or was it Charlie?
I have no idea. It's gotta be Jill. Charlie's a little bitch.
Yeah, she has the anger. She has the
Yeah.
dog in it. So we say.
Actually, going back to what you boys just said, Wes Craven actually sat down and watched a documentary about a man that was stabbed through the skull.
See, I wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
I
Go
don't
on.
need the nerds in the comments to go wrong.
Yeah,
What was
he,
you here for?
he watched the documentary and he,
It's under 11 viewers, Matt. Carry on, front.
yeah, he watched the documentary. He was fascinated that the man managed to get from like his house,
Yeah.
obviously where he was stabbed, and got himself to the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, so he still had all his motor skills. He was
Yeah.
still like able to do stuff, but you know.
Was a laboratory.
Brown
Actually,
bread, and he-
actually, going off that, you've just reminded me. I watched a true crime podcast a while ago. I can't remember the full story because this was years ago, but there was like some sort of killing or something.
There's only murders in the building there.
Yeah, Steve Martin came in with a banjo. This person was shot in the face, and like this guy was like trying to kill his family, and then he was left for dead. He came back and he killed the murderer with like bits of face like falling off.
Jesus Christ.
So like, it must depend on the angle or
Oh
like
my
the
God.
severity
Yeah,
of
there
the.
is-
Another dangle.
Then
Just
you have a
the voting
0.5% chance of surviving a gunshot to the head,
Yeah.
and then you have like a zero, and then 0.01 if you get shot twice.
Okay.
So
Right.
the courier in Fallout New Vegas is
Yeah, I
that
was
0.1.
gonna
I've got to say this, it's completely unrelated, but it's just made me laugh. You know about that guy going back and fighting for his life?
Yeah.
Maybe think of that Family Guy skit, the Jackass skit, where Johnny Knoxville blows his face
No,
off.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Watch me take a shotgun blast to the
His skull is
face.
just hanging out.
And he's like, oh, they're all just like,
I'm glad we, Josh,
yeah, I'm glad
that.
that we were there on the same wavelength.
Speaking of gory shit, Olivia's death, I would say, is the
Oh.
goriest, the
Oh
goriest
my
one.
fucking
As a
God.
callback to torture porn, as that's the new
Yeah, that's good.
Until-
horror genre.
Until now, this was the fucking meanest Ghostface. That's him. He's fucking
yeah,
throwing her about.
battering it, yeah.
Fucking yeah, that is.
I'm not
I like
in your
that.
closet. It's like, oh, I can shivers. And they're watching Shaun of the Dead in that scene as well.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, I don't like that.
I love that. He's like, turn that off. I love the scene when he's like, it is in Scream 4 when he's like, I'm gonna fucking cut your eyelids, you go
Yeah.
off, he stab you to death.
Improv there as well.
What? Like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, improv did
How much whiskey have you been drinking?
funny enough, actually. So we improv that,
Stellar.
and Neve Campbell after that scene was like, "You're a sick bastard," and she just laughed. She was like, "But you are talented. Is what you are. You know this character now."
He's like, I'm both. Sydney.
She's like, "Ooh." Right.
I did.
Got you like a fish.
It's funny though, right? Because if you see the guy that plays him, he's quite like cuddly and
Yeah, I know,
nice
he's a-
looking.
Short guy, isn't he?
He's just a nice fella.
Yeah. It's like Wes Craven.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing about Ghostface now, Robbie and Charlie, obviously Charlie being one of the Ghostfaces, Robbie was that boy from Saw in the safe.
I think they were both stupid.
Yeah, but they're web streamers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ghostface is a media fucking freak yet again. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah, but like,
screenwriters.
Again, that's good in the way that, like, again, Wes Craven has his finger on the
Yeah.
pulse, so he knew
Yeah.
what was coming. He
Yeah,
knew.
exactly.
Keeping that
Yeah.
continuity of them being.
I'm
a-
surprised
being a
at how on the ball where he was, because he was an older fella. Do you know what I mean? And like
Yeah, well, I suppose it's him and obviously Kevin
Williams. Yeah, to be
Williamson
fair,
together.
we've got to give a lot of credit to Kevin Williamson.
Perfect
because-
duo together.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They do like another sort of. They try to do a rules obviously without Jamie Kennedy. It's a bit different, and they
Yeah.
mention things like. Loads of loads of music video directors are now directing horror movies. Obviously, as a
Michael
comment.
Bay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he has Platinum Dunes, and they made
Yeah.
all the fucking horror
Yeah.
reboots, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
And then you look at Rob Zombie.
Look at that
Oh,
one.
I am Rob
Oh,
Zombie.
yeah.
So there's a commentary on what horror movies have been for the last early noughties.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is the first point where they go in. not poking fun, but that's your callback to, and they're
Yeah.
saying this is what people are doing now, kind of thing. So they do that.
One thing I liked actually is the fact that everybody, I say liked, one thing I thought about was how everybody thought that Charlie and who was the other guy?
Robbie.
Robbie, they thought
Robbie
they were the
John.
new Randys, and they really weren't. It was actually fucking, what's her name? She was in the new one as well, just gone. Kirby was obviously
Yeah.
the new Randy.
I thought Hayden Panettiere was good. Especially she pops up in Until Dawn as well.
I think she's a bit more annoying in Scream 4, but
Yeah.
I think she's good.
I was
in
gonna say
both.
I liked it more in the other ones than I did in this
Yeah.
one, but she's not bad. She's not
And-
really a fucking Chad territory.
Yeah. Speaking of Chad, I like how obviously Steve Orth in Scream 1, he's wearing like a Letterman jacket.
Oof.
Because
Steve
because
Oaf.
that's what they did in the 80s and 90s. You wore letter jackets to college, so they kept that design. So
Did
in,
they, yeah.
like, in Scream 4, during the party and stuff, the
Yeah.
stab a thumb, they're all wearing the same jacket, which is, again, I think it's good continuity that they carried it over, which is quite nice to see.
I feel like if one of their students was murdered in that outfit, they'd be like, kind of
Chilly.
tarnishes it a bit.
Yeah.
Should we change it up a bit? No money.
Yeah.
I kind of liked like Gail was actually Gail had a proper plot in this where she was investigating and she was
Yeah.
diving into it all on her own, and I nearly got her killed because of her fucking hubris. She was like
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for it,
Yeah.
and it's fucking creasing in that scene with the party. She's got the mask on and she's just like, "Hey." She's- and you know she's ready to fucking pounce on him basically.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then she gets stabbed again.
Not again.
Right, I didn't get that. Why stab her in the shoulder? If you're gonna kill her, stab her in the face.
Should have aimed for the head.
Yeah, exactly. You should have gone for
I
that.
think it's more like in the moment they just
Yeah.
go in for it, and whatever it lands, it lands.
Yeah.
It's so they
yeah.
could set up the reveal of how did she know I was stabbed in the shoulder?
Yeah.
Well, in that one anyway, yeah, actually. The
I don't know.
Okay.
All these ghost faces are just morons.
Yeah, they're flailing idiots who get the ever-living piss beaten out of them.
Exactly.
And I love it. He got his little boots on and his shoes. He's smacked about.
Oh, I also really like that Sydney herself is solid as fuck in
Oh,
this
no.
one.
Yeah.
Really, really
She's a
strong
machine
performance.
and a half in
Yeah.
this. She goes for it, something fierce.
She's like, I am so tired.
Like she kicks him to the stairs.
I
at one
was gonna
point.
say, and he flies down those stairs.
And I don't know, the goofy noise playing over the top.
Fucking Wilhelm Scream.
And she has not taken any prisoners to the point where she's like, I'm not listening to anyone. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, to be honest. You
Back
be a
for
killer.
everyone
I don't
stands
care.
in my way.
So like,
I am the Nev Campbell, the destroyer.
There was, speaking of, well, I got it for you, back to Steve. They have Charlie tied up like Steve in front of the pool while
Yeah,
answering
yeah,
questions.
Yeah, true.
And then she just lists 15 remakes, and I'm like, that's not the answer.
Yeah, but it's better to show terrified she is in that situation.
and it's also meant to show the abundance of remakes
Yeah,
at the
and
time.
she also knows her movies.
Yeah.
And then he stabs her because Lynn still got rejected.
So like, speaking of go back to being solid, how did the ghost I can't remember her name, Jill. How did she survive all of that punishment that she put herself
Well, it's kind
through?
of like what we said earlier. Once they put on the mask, they're not that person, and they're
She's-
ghost
yeah.
face.
She's
then.
a trained WWE professional
Yeah,
wrestler.
slams herself to the fucking.
I kind of
table.
like the nuts aspect like that, though. She was so
Yeah.
fucking crazy. She wanted
Yeah.
it that much.
Because if
Yeah.
Because she
you've
had
got
the
to be
dog in
crazy,
there again, see?
you've got to be crazy to
The
do
wolf is
that.
in.
Yeah,
I mean,
The Wolf Among Us.
And then what is up with fucking Woodsboro just having Silent Hill-esque hospitals that
Yeah,
no,
there's no
one
one
is
in
in?
there. I'm not being funny. This is America. Everyone's fucking dying with violence.
I
Ah,
thought your little
California,
cringy
wasn't it?
reference
Oh,
to Halloween was a bit cringy. You're like killing Sydney in the hospital as well. Right,
Oh, yeah.
fucking Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Like, did he need that one? Did he?
I
Yeah.
don't know, yeah. It's like, alright, we get it.
So he's like, oh, alright, come on, then. She gets up and this her guts are hanging out. She duct tapes them back in. Like, alright, come on, let's have it out right here then.
That is the problem I have with all of these films. It's just like, again, if you've watched the film, you know what I mean? Like, we talk a lot
Yeah.
of film references and every day-to-day life as a joke, but like,
It's almost like it's a film podcast.
but like, it is just a bit heavy, even for
It's
me.
heavy, Dad.
Yeah.
It's very heavy-handed. It's not.
It's heavy red right handed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Ah.
Which was not in this movie because bastard copyright.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what was in this movie.
What's that?
Another boyfriend motif because Charlie fancies Kirby. So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
I know obviously it's not really, well, because she says like, are you going to make a move on me? And then obviously they get interrupted by Trevor,
Yeah.
boyfriend, which they do fake
Yeah.
speculation.
He's
Yeah.
stupid as well.
Yeah.
He's just there for the fake
He's
speculation.
there
I'd
for
say.
Yeah.
no
And
reason.
he
So-
got shot in the dick.
You know the funny
Oh,
thing,
he's so dead.
he was the one who didn't really want the part either. He was the one
Really?
fucking around the casting coaches and everything.
Really?
Yeah, he was the one that didn't turn up to like the interviews and stuff.
Why didn't he just not be in it then?
Fuck knows. Maybe then that's where they rewrote it again. We wrote it last minute. We're like, you know,
they're like, oh, we've got 2 Ghostface killers again, boy and girl again, romance
also,
again.
he's
which was
also
alright.
dressed in the same outfit as Sydney's father in the first movie.
They did dress,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
full
I know they
Cindy,
tried to mirror that,
double
Yeah.
denim.
which is a crime unless you're in the 80s. Or
Yeah.
Josh.
Wait, me?
You were double dead.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah,
80s
you're the
night.
double dead.
Yeah, to the 80s night.
Yeah, hit me for a second then. I went, me?
One
Me.
thing I've got written here is you see in Scream 5, Joe, when you've got the dead meat cameo on YouTube,
Yeah.
one of the recommended videos is that Kirby's alive and she's doing like an interview.
Yeah, I know.
So that's
yeah.
like obviously it's eagle eye viewer thing, but it shows that she's still alive. Therefore, her fate at the end of Scream 4 being confirmed to have not died, which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah, actually, I don't think they were going to use her originally, but because the fan reception was so good from that little tiny cameo,
Yeah.
they were like, well, if Sydney's not going to be this, we'll just...
She
Shut
wants
her
someone
up.
else in there.
Right, well, speaking of which, should we jump on to Scream 5?
Okay,
Uh,
this is probably going to be the
No
most
one should
controversial
ever jump onto
discussion.
I think it will, yeah.
So, personally, because I'm going to be on the most contrast to Fabian's opinion, I think, I feel like it was a good return to form.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think it was amazing
No.
by any means necessary. It lost a lot of the Scream charm, but it was a good. See, I would say it's a good stepping stone to the next one, but then I like the 6th one less than the 5th one.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's very surprising.
Yeah.
Even though the 6th one was not a strong film, it was definitely stronger than 5 in my opinion.
I agree,
But
John.
I said when I left the movie, right, I said to you guys before you guys even watched it, I said that on paper Scream 6 is a better movie, but weirdly I enjoyed the one before it
Yeah.
more.
That's fair enough. You can't help how you feel.
And I think it might be because there hadn't been a Scream movie in because there hadn't been a Scream movie in a decade. It might be that I was coming back and
Bit
being
of
like,
hype, like.
it was waking up that Scream inside of me. Do you
Yeah,
know what I
the
mean?
dog in you. The Scream dog in
the,
you.
the screaming pitbull dog inside me.
Well, I've got here just Scream 5 is fucking dumb.
I agree.
I think obviously Sam needs a previous movie to like build her up as obviously the daughter of Billy Loomis, and she's fighting with this killer dog inside her.
Yeah.
It's like Scream 5 is like, you know, the
It does feel like we've been thrown in the middle of something.
it's like
doesn't it?
it's
Yeah.
the middle. It's the second movie of a trilogy, but it feels like the first.
It's like what you said. It's like you watch and you're like, I don't know who these people.
Yeah,
are.
cause obviously I saw Scream 5 before I saw Scream 4 because obviously Scream 4 weak movie. I was like, fuck, have I really missed that much? No,
They've got
because
nothing to do with each other.
Completely different movies.
Yeah.
Which would have been good if this was the Scream 4. This is the start of your new trilogy.
Yeah, because it's weird that they talk about so much about reboots in Scream 4 and then they just reboot it in Scream 5.
Well, again, it's just because of the lack of money going into the movie, I think.
Yeah.
But Scream 6 was is like the biggest opening weekend of all the
Yeah.
movies since Scream 3, so we're gonna get a
By
I was going to say
Oh,
we're getting
no.
the Scream 7.
Mhm.
Well, they already announced it, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they have.
I think
some-
they're like maybe, but
Yeah.
they will.
One thing I think it does.
See
is
you in 11 months.
it finally it comes back to that Billy Loomis boyfriend of the protagonist is the killer with Richie, which I thought was quite. You've been faking us out with it for a while, and now you've given it to us. And he's also they're keeping the boy and girl Ghostface killers are
Yeah.
also in a relationship again, so they've kept that the same.
But I don't know. I
It's
feel
just
like
a rehash.
Yeah, it does feel
Now
like
we
a
get to a
rehash.
messy page.
And I do feel like in this situation, I am one of those people that letting the nostalgia take over a little bit because I wanted to see Scream again. But then also you could see it as they're waking us up to Scream, so
Yeah.
to speak, like because we haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
They're reintroducing us to the new Scream and to new audiences for
Yeah.
everywhere. So they
Yeah.
want to start from the beginning and give us what we've seen before.
So does that mean that we should look at Scream 5 as Scream 4 in the sense of it should be
Yeah, I
the
think we
first
should-
part
Well,
of the
it
trilogy?
is that. That's literally
Yeah.
what it is.
It feels like you go into the second film without watching the first one, even though there isn't a
The
first
best
Yeah.
way to look at it, Scream
Halloween
4 is
Kills.
like isolated on its
Halloween
own.
Yeah.
syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 was kind of like just like obviously they tried in 2011 to get horror movies back,
Yeah.
didn't do so well. That's
Yeah.
obviously why it didn't come back.
Because I think it was more of like, what was big at the time, like paranormal activity kind of
like,
things. I mean, I think slashers have kind of died.
Slasher
about
died
that.
off, and you had more like supernatural,
Natural, yeah.
which they didn't really comment on in Scream 5, I'd say.
Yeah, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, because that's what they do in
Well,
a
Scream 5
comment.
is toxic fandom. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah,
isn't
no, I
it? That's
suppose.
the big thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I quite like that motive.
No,
to be
I like the
honest with you.
motive. I just hate the people.
You know what? You know the worst
Yeah.
part, and you may disagree, any of you, but like I think the actor and the actress did a good job. I just feel like the material they were given wasn't enough.
They did a good job of being obnoxious and annoying. Well, I mean that woman, I can't remember her name, but she
The
basically...
character is Amber. I don't know her
Yeah.
actual.
Amber, yeah, let's just say Amber. She played exactly the same character as who won in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, and
even
she
the way
could
she
be-
died.
Dies the
Exactly.
same way.
Yeah.
They were going to change it actually, and they didn't bother.
Yeah.
They were like, "It's funnier if we leave it." And I thought, "Good on you guys."
I personally think that by bringing everyone back for quarter one last time,
Yeah.
this is the movie you should have had Stu as the villain in if you were going to bring him back, because it takes place
What,
in his...
Scream 5?
Yeah, because it takes place in his house. Obviously, you've got Sydney back, you've got Dewey and Gale
I
back.
think it'd be a bit pandering to have him in the first movie back.
I
But
feel like
that's
it
what I
might have
mean.
been.
If you,
But I know what you're trying to say.
And by
Yeah.
killing him then,
Yeah.
you haven't got that fucking shadow over your head of is he back? But
Yeah.
I thought it would have been better. Obviously, it works with Amber and Richie.
Yeah.
But this is, I will say, I am a bit biased because I want Sue to come back and I like him as a character. I thought this would have been the time to do it. And like Josh said, why bother now? It's been too long.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, since we talked about Scream 6 earlier, I don't know if I've said it already, but the theatre aspect with all like the memorabilia, it felt like the ending to a trilogy.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
didn't feel like it should have been in this one.
No.
Like it felt like a goodbye sort of thing. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
The
giving
fight,
you,
the last stand.
giving you
Yeah.
everything you want to
Yeah,
see.
it should have been just
Yeah.
end this franchise.
Yeah.
I'd say.
That's what I
It's
mean.
so tired.
You need your original trilogy. Like Neve Campbell is important to have because I feel like by bringing her in,
I didn't
just for
really
the
miss
sake
her.
of
I
bringing
like her a
in-
lot, but I didn't
No,
miss
but
her.
as a
I
Scream
didn't really
movie.
miss it, but I feel like she should have more finality
Yeah.
to her
Because
character.
And-
I would say that Sydney Prescott is the best final girl.
No, she is. I think she is easily.
She's
so-
definitely top 3
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So if you're in a horror movie, she needs to be the final girl. I
Yeah.
get there's a passing of the torch and whatever, but that to me is not a Scream movie, which is I think is going to be hard either way because obviously if you are making a new set of
To be fair,
characters,
passing the torch thing now is like a big thing in horror films at the moment, or like a current trope.
Yeah.
At least in a lot of films
Texas
at the moment.
Chainsaw
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
we're not talking about because fuck that
Candy,
movie.
yeah,
Terrible.
fuck that movie. Candyman, which they mentioned.
Which was
So
amazing.
I get, which so I could get why they would do it, but there wasn't really much part of the torch. It was more of, well, the last torch is gone, so let's just light a new one.
Spark up over here.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Sydney.
Frog, is there anything you'd like to say about Scream 5?
No. I gotta be honest, I just...
Do you find it quite lackluster then, would you say?
Yeah, I just didn't care for it.
Fuck it.
It was
Like,
one of the
genuinely, you
movies
could have just...
One of them.
You could have just like...
I'm gonna have to agree. Fuck this movie. Josh, like you said, we've got the most contrasted opinion. I think it's one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
Really? You'd go that
Yeah.
far?
Maybe, yeah.
As,
At least
as bad as the New Mutants that you fell asleep in twice.
I told people a lot of films.
As
but
bad as Hellboy 2019?
Okay, alright, okay, maybe not the worst, but it's top 100 list anyway.
That's fair
It's
enough.
one of my most hated films anyway.
Yeah.
I thought that, like, because even though I had no prior involvement, like, or engagement with the series, I was quite excited. Especially because I heard the Dead Meat James and Chester in it. I wanted to see them. But I wanted to... I was just interested, and I saw, like, all of your reaction, and, like, I saw it separately from you, and...
I'm sure
I
you
just-
came with us, didn't you?
No,
I didn't.
I thought so many people, like I thought Hannah was there, I thought Fabian was there, and I was like, who actually
You're
fucking
just going
was there?
insane. You're like Sydney.
Scratching at the
you're-
door?
You're like Sydney and Sam. You're just seeing things.
You just seeing me. I appreciate that. I saw it separately, and I just saw, wow, this writing sucks.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
Missing Kevin Williamson in there.
I
yeah.
just thought it stunk. Yeah, I just thought that, like I said about the Scream 6, it was just like a cookie cutter character of a slasher. Like, you know, in like Freddy versus Jason, you're not meant to like the characters.
Right.
They're kind of like parody of like slasher.
They're
people.
just meant to be there to be
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
And they're fully
You're there,
That's
you're
what it
there for the
felt like.
villains. They're-
That's what it
They're
felt
there
like.
for the
Yeah,
outside.
and I didn't even like them. I just thought like, this just stinks.
Even Chad's girlfriend, I can't even remember her name because she was such a
Fuck
throwaway
her and fuck
throwaway
him.
character.
Fuck all of them. Like, I actually hate all of the
It
characters.
feels like Scream has like gone in like a full loop, where
Yeah.
the first one is now making fun of
Yeah.
violence.
It's almost as if the first one had seen what it would become.
Yeah. And
How
gone,
do you-
haha, loser.
how do you
He
fuck
knew
up that
that
badly?
the franchise was gonna end up
Yeah.
like that,
And it is
And
quite
again-
sad.
showing one was very far ahead of its time,
Yeah.
even in reference to itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's quite
It's
sad
fantastic,
because obviously Radio Silence love the franchise.
And they're trying. They
because
are
they
really
said
trying.
they were talking to Paramount, the guys that obviously own the franchise, and what they did was they rocked up with a book of properties and were like, which one do you want to do? 'Cause
Yeah.
we've got all these horror properties. What do you want to do? And they were like, what, we can do Scream.
Yeah.
Like actually, we can do Scream, and you can see it in all of their faces. They're all excited, and
Yeah,
all
I was
their-
gonna say, you can
and even
tell
the
they love it.
cast, they're all like really excited. And you know what? I will give you this one. I do feel like there's like barely any chemistry between anyone in this movie.
Yeah.
I hated all
And that's
of them.
why I said that whole Chad and Tara thing in the next movie is stupid. I get you
Yeah.
had to go for
There was no build up to it in this one.
there's no chemistry.
He pushes that guy, they have a
Yeah,
shove.
but it could be like a traumatic thing where they're just kind of like
They've
bonded over it. Yeah,
I'll
and
tell
they've
you
all
what-
gone a lot closer. They're the last four.
I'll
Yeah.
tell
They
you
are
what-
the core four.
I don't.
Oh, that made me want to be
I'll
sick.
tell you what was traumatic. Fucking Dewey dying, and I hated it. I know for a movie it might have been needed, but I didn't
nearly
fucking
cried.
like it, and I
I
didn't want it to
blatantly
happen.
nearly cried. I'm not even lying.
He's
to
the
you.
best.
I
of the
was
three
just
of them.
like, so you've done it now.
Yeah.
You had like 3 figures, you've done it
Yeah.
now. Alright,
The whole
fine.
point of
That's it.
Dewey is like
Or 4
he gets
figures.
stabbed, he lives, and you see him in the next
But
movie
there's
with
only
an
3
even more
times.
egregious injury.
Yeah,
He's
you
limping
can't
everywhere.
go
Yeah,
on
but then he
forever.
lost it after
And
the
it's
second.
also
Just
it's
being
also
like a
showing
teacher
that
on the
like
head of
no,
jar.
but it is showing that no one else is safe either. Though that's the
Yeah,
point.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's very true.
I feel like if you're going to kill him off, because you've done it 4 times, it's getting old. I think it's
Yeah.
stupid.
I
No one can
personally
survive that
think
much.
that Gale should have gone out in the last one, and
Really?
Dewey should have survived. Yeah, because Dewey's the one who ended up in dog shit at the end of his life.
Yeah, that's
He had
Yeah.
nothing going on.
Oh, yeah.
He could have used Gale's death as a pick-me-up, and he could have just gone for it. He could
Okay.
have run over the finish line there, and
Yeah.
ended up in this one and then in this one, then the newer one, even sorry, the 6th one, he comes in and he's a police officer again. He's back in the force. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That could have been cool.
Yeah, he's kicking names and taking ass.
Actually, saying that, Josh, yeah, he could have been partnered in with the killer in the number 6,
Yeah.
and he could have just been like working around him.
Without
Yeah,
realising.
Like
and-
cat and
And he's
mouse.
a bit of
very
a
good.
dope, so like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Like maybe he's chasing a ghost face across America kind of situation.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, they've
yeah.
ended up in New York. But I feel like David Arquette, Neve Campbell, they're better. Well, he's quite in it quite a lot. She's in it much less. Courtney Cox, the same but less. So I feel like none of them really missed a beat to the characters.
You know what? Say that. Neve Campbell's involvement just felt like an afterthought.
Oh yeah.
There's all these other people, and then she rocks to the end like, well, I usually bat a Ghostface, I better get
That was
involved this
literally
time.
it, and she said, "Well, I think it was the point where, like, the kids are in danger." But then I think she realised how dangerous. Because she didn't turn up yet, but she realised how dangerous it was when Dewey died, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck, if Dewey's dead, then I'm gonna have
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
that's
involved."
true, yeah.
That,
yeah,
I think Dewey even said to her, like, just stay away, like, you can't
Yeah.
get out if you're not here, kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't fuck with the mother protecting her children.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
She fucked them up.
Speaking of children, I thought adding a character called Wes, who was just so boring, just to be killed
He's
off.
not boring. He's the 13th reason why fan.
He's
Go
my,
Tigers!
He's my fucking 13th reason why, I'll tell you that. I thought that, like,
With his highlights.
I just thought-
Disrespectful.
yeah, I just thought it was in poor taste. And, like, I've seen a lot of people say, like, well, obviously it's a tribute and stuff. I don't care.
No.
I don't think it needed to be. I'm not saying I don't care about the death of Wes
Do you feel like
Craven.
like the fact that it was a bad tribute takes it away from the fact they were trying to make a good, like,
Yeah,
a good
it
tribute
just
in general?
yeah, because I felt it was so lazy. I mean, they're all like, for Wes. It's like, this is so heavy-handed.
At the end, during it says
Why
"Go
would you
West"
be in
at
it-
the end, that's all he
I wanna
needed.
be
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
All he needed.
Why would these people be throwing a party? I'm sorry, what if you've got fucking stabbed
Well,
through your
to be
face in
fair-
your house? I'd be distraught. I
To
would
be
be
fair,
partying my...
to be fair,
He would be
it was,
passing you bollocks on.
No, I wouldn't.
To be fair, it was Amber's party, and obviously she's one of the killers.
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
she
no,
was
but like,
great
why
at
would
it.
they be going there to any party after their mates died?
It's
college
America, this
kids,
happens every
yeah.
day.
True.
How many
true.
times have we gone, oh, there's a party going, do you want to go? And we've just collected one, yeah, fucking
Not after the bereavement of our friend, Matthew.
Very true, actually.
Well,
Yeah, how many of our friends
Well, that's the
have
thing.
been
They,
with
all these,
True.
there was a lot of people at that party. Were they his friends? They know him?
No, but the people that said for Wes
Ah, right.
were his friends.
Yeah, Matt, everyone there was there for him.
For Wes.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah, literally, it
Yeah.
says.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying I thought, like, because obviously I figured that he wasn't that well, actually not well known, but like everyone was there outside of his friends.
Well, the whole
group,
point
do
is
you
it's a small town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Matt,
okay.
there's
Oh,
a
no, yeah,
massive
yeah.
banner with his name on
Yeah,
it.
no, I know, I'm just saying.
You okay?
I'm very tired.
It's alright, it's fair enough.
It's been a big episode,
It
boys.
has. It's alright though, we're powering on, we're getting towards the end
Yeah,
now.
we're
One
getting to the
thing,
finish
one
line.
thing I'd say I liked, because I'm just neutral on it, is obviously Dewey, every time he's wheeled out, he's in the back.
Is
Dewey.
that his Welsh name?
Dewey, my Dewey, and no.
Dewey back.
Dewi Sant
Yeah,
Dewi.
he's wheeled out in the ambulance and he does the thumbs up thing he does in like Scream 1 and 2, and then Chad does it, and then I can't remember if I've said this before because we've recorded this a few times. Then when Chad does it, I was thinking, oh, he's gonna be like the new Dewey where he gets
Thing
stabbed,
is,
you think he's
I hope
dead
he
and he
dies.
comes
Thing
back,
is-
I really hope
and then
he
he does
dies.
it in the second one, so I was
I
like,
like
oh, okay.
that.
I
Thing is,
really
though,
hope
it's
he dies.
plausible tonight, like as it's plausible with Dewey, right? So like he gets stabbed once or twice. You're like, okay. Chad in the
Oh,
in the
he was
sixth
so
one,
dead. He
He
was
got
so
stabbed.
dead.
Like 6 times each from each one.
his
Yeah.
name was Chad, and he got stabbed. All right.
he literally was like gutted
Yeah.
like a fish.
He was
Well,
comically dead.
To
Yeah.
be fair, they did like stab him in like the upper torso.
Was it? I thought it was more like after,
No,
like,
it was,
down
It was
the-
everywhere.
It was a bit
it
of
was like
both.
here.
It was.
So
they
there's a
even
chance that they could have
They
missed.
even did
quite
like
close.
the scream, sting, and the zoom
Yeah.
on him to be like,
This is a final
He's
death
dead.
I hope
scene.
you're gonna feel this now. He's
Yeah.
going now.
Do you know why? I think it's because he's clearly popular in real life. Mason Gooding is, and you
He
know,
was
big
meant to
star
die,
power because
actually.
nepotism baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I reckon it was an afterthought, and they
Yeah.
brought him back. But like, if you're gonna do the Dewey thing with Gale, why do it with him?
Yeah.
Because obviously, fuck him.
And
I
you
don't
know
like.
what?
I just hate him.
He
I'm
is
sorry, I'm
still
biased.
alive, as Demi Lovato said.
Oh yeah.
He's
Fuck
still
the
alive
sa-
as well, fucking junkie.
Fuck yeah. Fuck the soundtrack and fuck heroin and fuck it.
Fuck heroin. And that's it, everyone. Fuck heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
That's
do
the
drugs,
message of the day.
Wait till you see our train spotting review.
I think we need to do one final thing, which
Coming
is our
soon.
ranking from.
Yeah,
one
let's
to
all
Yeah.
do our own.
Okay.
Right, I have one thing to do after that. I want to ask you all a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, we'll go from Frank over to me because I'm last on this side.
One sec.
cool.
Give your rankings.
I've got to visually see them in front of me. Give me a sec.
Right, okay. Scream 1,
Yeah, that's fair.
Scream 3,
Oh,
Scream
okay.
2, and then 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
I'm very, very close to Frank.
And then the TV series in the pile of dog
Yeah.
shit at the bottom.
I forgot about that.
a lot
Fuck
of
that.
people did.
Yeah.
So mine's
God.
very similar to Frank. It's 1, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4.
Right, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So again, 1, 3,
Matt,
2.
Matt not being very controversial for a change.
Shocker.
Yeah, it's 1, 3, 2, and then it is 6, 4, 5.
Right,
In
okay.
my opinion.
Okay.
I think mine is literally 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5 as well.
Yeah.
Well, some of it's like
Okay, it's the most controversial take probably. So I'll have 1, then I have 2, then I have 5 and 3.
okay.
Kind of like
Tied.
sitting in the same zone.
Yeah.
Then probably, this is a weird one for me because like 4, I kind of, you know, I know it's not that bad of a film, but personally I don't think it's that good, so I'll just
Yeah.
stick it there.
Yeah.
Then 6, now we've talked about it, probably is coming to be my
Yeah.
least favourite.
It's
One thing
yeah.
I do like is how we are all unanimously have our top 3 is the original top 3.
Well, yeah.
In sort of.
If you really want my honest opinion, they're the only good ones, or the only ones worth watching, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Right, I got a question to ask all of you.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Right, so they talked about obviously this movie being fresh and different, and it very clearly really wasn't.
Yeah.
Now, what would you all do to make it fresh and unique?
Ah, okay.
That is a really good
So-
question that you sprung on me without giving me time to think.
That's the point, though. I'm getting your ball rolling.
Right.
So
Okay.
with
Yeah, don't worry, they do this to me every week.
Right. Let Jordan carry on.
Go on, John boy.
So with obviously the opening to 6, it showed it from the perspective of Ghostface. That I think that would have been a very interesting take to do,
Yeah.
to show the thought process of Ghostface rather than doing it through the eyes of the protagonist.
kind of
These
like-
I like
really
that. I like
uninteresting
that.
So,
characters.
kind of
Yeah.
like, as Gales spoke about in this movie, actually, the Netflix crime documentaries where they follow the killer. So to
Yes,
speak.
I like that.
Yeah.
What's
like
But
up,
that.
it's
guys?
done
It's me,
through that.
Ghostface, here
It's-
today, and what we're gonna do is kill some people. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss
That's the
this.
video. That's the film. That's the plot of Spree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spree.
So make Spree, but good. Basically.
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible game.
Anyone else with the?
Touching on what Jordan said, that's a good. I wouldn't say make it wholly from Ghostface's perspective, but like have the movie as it is, but the audience just knows who Ghostface is. So
Yeah.
obviously, when they're lying, you know they're lying, but you want obviously just to see how it is. And I think they could potentially do something creative where they do pull the rug out from under you at the end,
Yeah.
because something has happened that you haven't seen, and because you're seeing everything Ghostface does and lies about, you think you know, but then like, something happens and you don't, which I think would have been quite good.
I personally would like to see, again, something quite similar, but something going in a slightly different direction. So obviously, Scream likes to have links to film and how films are made, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'd like it from the perspective of, say, someone... it could be someone outside of the normal group or whatever,
Yeah.
but someone who's maybe doing their own little documentary on the killings in the continuity,
Yeah.
and then they themselves, as a ploy to get more famous and get the ball moving, is actually committing these crimes and documenting them. Kind of like Nightcrawler in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Become so obsessed with it that like they start doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Well, like Spider-Man, where he's taking photos of himself.
Yeah, that kind of, I suppose. Yeah.
I think that they should just have the characters at the start of the movie walk into a cinema and watch
Like Scream
Scream.
2.
They watch Scream 1, but the entire movie is just us watching Scream 1 because it's a better movie.
Well, like Lion King at 1.5.
Yes.
Yeah. So the opening 10 minutes is them sitting down to watch Scream 1 and we just watch Scream 1 because honestly, fuck this. I personally did think
There
Scream
is
6.
Or they watch Stab.
Yeah, there's a fan thing
Yeah.
going on right now that because they can't do any more Scream movies, they start to think like, is the well is drying up? What if we start making stab movies?
And you can even have things like where you have like Nev Campbell, like not in the audience, but like walking past the cinema. You can get the characters involved this way. I do personally think that I gave Scream 6 a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a good movie, but obviously there's a lot of points like we just picked apart.
No,
I'd say.
I give it like a 5. After talking now, I'd give it like a 5.
I give it a 4.
The franchise would
Generous
get
new.
the franchise as a whole would get like a 7 or an 8 from me.
Yeah, I'd say Scream is a strong.
Because
7.5
the good
rate.
ones are so good, I think it holds up the rest.
I give it a 5 overall.
6.
You know what? 7.
So, yeah,
I've got to say 7.
I'd say it's a good
7.
franchise.
Rob,
Yeah.
what would you do to make Scream fresh? What would you do, if anything?
I don't know if he'll make it
Kill
fresh.
Okay, I was gonna say just I would.
We cast Frank as the Southside Strangler.
Hey, no, that's supposed to be secret. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be a fresh take, but something I would like to see. Alright, look. Is Ghostface going after Neve Campbell,
Yeah.
kills her,
Oh. Okay.
and then it just back and forth.
You know what?
back and
That's actually a good driving point, but I do feel like fans would kick off
Yeah,
something fierce.
Yeah.
Although I like that, though. I do like that.
Again, I like the idea that if that could work in like any other franchise, because I am one of those people that just think Neve Campball is Scream.
I'm pretty damn sure that the next one's going to be like all the survivors as a family, and then they're all going to get picked off. And because they've all been developed over other films, that's why we're all attached, and we don't need to give them character development.
Yeah,
I hope they
No.
die really badly. And so
Scream-
I think they
Scream
just need to
7
like
is-
lean really into like the goofiness.
Yeah.
Just make the killer like.
just make
fucking
scary movie
wacky.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scream 7 is just
Well, they
Fed
make
and
they,
playing
well,
himself,
that's the
killing
joke
them
they
all.
make in Scream 5, though. To be fair, when they like stab 8, and he's
Yeah.
got a flamethrower.
Chrome
Oh,
face
yeah.
in it, yeah.
I had an idea watching this actually. Watching Scream 6 at the end. You know, there's a lot of guest characters in Mortal Kombat. Funny enough, going back to our review, you should watch that by the way.
It's fucking awesome.
There's a lot of guest characters in Mortal Kombat. People want Ghostface. I think it'd be really interesting if each variation was a different Ghostface,
Yeah.
like from the films.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like underneath it could be like Stu Marker, and he could like take it off at the end of his victory.
Or
or
like,
whatever.
kind of like an MK11. Like they
Yeah.
have, like they have the different versions of the same character.
Yeah. Or like a move could be like another one comes in and gives a little stab and runs off
Oh,
screen.
that'd
or
be
something.
cool.
Runs off.
Yeah. I thought that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Theatre performance of Scream.
Well, actually, in one of the posters for this, the Scream 6.
Oh, there's a Scream musical in
yeah,
there.
they stab the musical.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That'd be banging. I don't even care. Release it on April 1st.
I'd pay to see it. I won't lie.
I'm paid to see that shit.
I certainly won't.
Would you say we're all done, gentlemen?
I
Yeah,
would think
I'd
so,
say
yeah.
that was a very strong
Well,
session.
thank you to Jordan and Matt for making a good guest appearance.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
Maybe we'll
Yeah,
see
it
you
was
again
fun,
very
yeah.
soon. We'll
Who
see what
knows?
happens. You never know.
Well, you might.
Depending on what films.
I would say you see me again,
So-
but you won't be able to hear me because in space no one can hear you scream.
Scream.
And
That's a good spoiler
there's a little bit of a hint there.
Yeah.
But
It's
Fabian,
Terminator.
I believe it's time for you to say goodbye, my friend.
Thank you very much. We've been Shamullahcast. We have a choice of 750,000 other podcasts, and we are signing off.